Welcome to our show. This time we are representing our development, our QA, and First2Finish track. You're gonna see the problems they're solving, the competitors, who's there, who's competing, and who's doing what. We can't wait to see all about it and who comes out on top as our TCO22 champions, each winning $10,000. Listen in, join in live, let's go.
It all leads up to this. Game time. Congratulations on a super successful year and good luck in the finals. You are what makes Topcoder special, and we're going to be rooting for you. Go out there and have some fun.
Congratulations to our TCO finalists. You guys have done amazing so far, and you're so close to the finish line. We're really excited for you to participate in the final competitions and see how you place. Good luck.
TCO finalists, congratulations on making it to the TCO finals. I'm so incredibly proud of you, and you should be proud of yourselves. Best of luck in the competition. I know you guys are gonna rock it. I cannot wait to ship our 6 bracket trophies to our new champions. Good luck, guys.
Congratulations, TCO finalists. I can't believe finals are here. You have worked so hard all year long. We are so proud of you. Our members mean everything to us. So I wish you the best of luck in the arena. I can't wait to watch every competition and see who the new TCO champions are.
Hey guys, Luis here. Congratulations. What a journey. You have made it this far. You are a Topcoder finalist. What an honor. I know you have probably put a lot of efforts. You haven't slept some nights to make it here. You have earned this with the sweat of your brow. And I'm so proud of you just to be here. And if there's something I can wish you is success, of course, but I could give you a little piece of advice, this small. It would be to embrace these moments, enjoy yourself, because this is a unique opportunity for you to be here and prove your talents and meet other people. I know we are online and we will probably meet next year on site, but you can still meet people and hang out, enjoy the experience and compete and give your best. I wish you the very best and rise and shine. Bye-bye.
Congratulations to all TCO22 finalists. You are truly our rock star in the community. Good luck, everyone.
I'm Jan from Sri Lanka. My TC handle is E06 I'm competing in development category this time.
Hi, this is Nursoltan from Mongolia. I'm going to participate in QA, development and first-to-finish tracks. Good luck and have fun.
Namaste. Myself is sdeepakkumar and I am from India. I am competing in development track. All the best to all the finalists.
I'm SoSo574. I'm from China. I'm competing on development track.
Yeah, coming back to the development challenge. So in this development challenge, TCO22 development challenge, we have this time, for the first time, we introduce two type of challenges. So for the backend developers, we have an API development problem statement, and for the first time for the front end developers, we have a website development challenge. Like they have to create the front end. So it's not like everybody has to use the same. So depending on, they have the choice, either select a front end problem or a backend. And in this TCO22, we have 8 finalists. Out of those 8, 6 participated in the front end challenge. Like they opted to solve the front end challenge, and then the rest of the 2 developers started with the backend. Okay, so can if we go to the backend developers, maybe we can start with the backend developers first, and then we can move on the front end developers.
Maybe we first should talk a bit more about what was the challenges.
Yeah, we should.
Justin can talk us the whole idea, because it was about building 2 parts of the same application.
Yeah, so we're building a sales app for Topcoder staff to use at events. So the designers had done the storyboards for 4 screens. So the front-end developers were expected to convert 4 screens targeting an iPad Pro size and layout, portrait orientation. And the back-end developers were expected to develop the services for managing and providing the data for the front end to use eventually. So we're actually working on another challenge now to kind of integrate the results of the front end challenge and the back end challenge into a single application that is going to be used later on. So yeah, the scope was hard to get right, because I wanted to make a challenge that was similar in complexity for the members, but the front end stuff tends to be a little more finicky and take a little bit longer. So I added more requirements on the backend developers for unit tests, Swagger documentation, and the backend developers were expected to make more services than are going to be required for the front end. So we had some additional services for managing the data that the front end actually isn't going to use, but that we might use for managing the data in the application later on.
How is going to be scored? I mean, now you have 2 developers doing backend, for doing others doing the front end. How are you going to compare the scores?
Yeah, that's a hard thing to do, because you've got 2 different problems. So in order to get consistency, there were 2 scorecards that we used. They're just the standard scorecards on the site, but we have a challenge scorecard for challenges that don't have unit tests, and that's the one that was applied to the front end challenge. And the back end challenge had a different scorecard that includes unit tests. So there's questions in the scorecard about how well the unit tests are done, what the coverage is like, are those requirements met? And then also to ensure consistency between the 2 reviews, we had the same reviewers for both the back end and the front end challenge to ensure that the reviews were as fair as we could get them.
And for the front end, do they have to develop the application only for Chrome, or they have to make their application compatible for other browsers, let's say Safari, or we go for
Yeah,
Firefox, Internet Explorer.
For this challenge, because I only had 5 hours, we said only Chrome, because we can't say Safari because not everybody's going to have a Mac or an iPad. So the best we could do was just say, everybody just target Chrome. That's generally the easiest one for developers. And that's what we went with.
Okay, so what I think is that they can use the iPad 11 Pro size using Chrome, and then the reviewers are going to test those screens like what they developed in Chrome, but for the iPad Pro size.
Yep. And then if we find any bugs on an actual iPad Pro later on, they should be minor because Safari and Chrome are relatively close to standard, but we can clean things up as we go.
Yeah, one thing I see that it is like the icon should be of should support 2x rendering for like iPad. Like on desktop we don't have, it's like 1x, but we do have that 2x rendering. So that also be like a good thing for the front end developers. So we can just like this adds a bit of complexity, but it makes the website look very good.
Yeah, especially on an iPad.
Yeah. So we should be moving on to the developer screen, and let's see like how the backend developers develop the application first. Yeah.
We can start with My Goodness if you want, Sandika. They worked on the back end. The thing with the back end that may have taken them by surprise a little bit was we required MongoDB. So I know that was something that they had to install, which took a little bit of time. So you were kind of having to multitask right at the start if you went with the back end, because you had to install MongoDB locally while you're getting the rest of your build environment set up. The backend had the choice of Python, Java, or Node, and I think My Goodness went with Python because that's what they're most comfortable with, coming from a data science background.
So it was limiting the developers to use any other database. They are strictly for MongoDB.
Yep. Yeah, we had to. In planning for how we're going to use this later, we really needed to have a little bit of standardization around some of that stuff. I couldn't, if all of a sudden somebody used a data science thing built for Python, that could cause trouble later when we get to integration and other members have to take this over and build it, and then we have to deploy it for an actual application and secure it. So we had to be a little bit careful about the technologies that we allowed.
Yeah, for 5-hour competition, MongoDB I think makes it quite easier because it's better appropriate for fast prototyping.
Yeah, it's pretty widely used, and they seem to be okay with it.
Members also have the choice of using, I think, Docker if somebody prefers. Then it makes it easier to install MongoDB.
Sure.
It's like,
I think My Goodness, they're on a Mac, so they fired up Homebrew and installed it that way.
So installation time is also included in this 5 hours, or they have given us some extra time for this?
Nope, everything's in that 5 hours. So they didn't see the spec until right when the challenge started.
Okay. Yeah, for this, like backend developers had slightly disadvantage because on the front end, you start with Angular or Node.js, nothing needed to be installed. But here, Mongo or Python, somebody may need to install that.
But that's assuming that
then you
somebody
say
has...
also My Goodness come from data science more competitions.
Yep.
Because I imagine any developer who would work only on the backend stuff, he would probably already have it installed. But then you have a disadvantage if you do different stuff initially.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to come up with a challenge that can cover everybody's skill sets, because data science is so much different than somebody who focuses just on front-end development versus somebody who only focuses on iOS or Android development. So we had to do the best we could there.
Yeah, data science is like more related to marathon matches. But if we say select Node.js or Mongo, then our front end, it comes towards the development, like the code development thing.
And there's the development of the API. So they are free. Okay, I see somebody used Fast API. Okay, I was about to ask that for those who are using Python, whether they will be limited, maybe different. They can use Fast API or Django-less framework for that API. So I was about to ask whether they can be able to develop maybe using Fast API. Just so one there. I think Fast API, the developers who use Fast API, they will do it quick fast because it does auto documentation to the Swagger. So I think that's interesting part of it, this backend. He used a very nice framework.
And depending upon the languages used, developers also have to take like different languages for writing the unit test cases as well. Like if somebody uses Python, then they have to use something related to Python. Or if they are using Node.js, then use something else.
Yeah, that factors into it. A lot of it is how quickly you determine which technology you want to use. Because if you go down the wrong path and you pick a framework that is harder to use or maybe not as flexible, then you're in a little bit more trouble. So now we're looking at xxcxy, and he chose to use Java, which was allowed. So he's also doing the back end, but doing it in Java versus Python.
Yeah, and I also see that different developers, depending on the languages, they use different ID. So this ID is different, and then usually like front-end user developers, they use VS Code, or like earlier they used to use Sublime. But like if you see select this backend developer, I think he's using maybe some Eclipse, or yeah, I guess it's Eclipse ID he's using.
Yeah, I can't tell. I mean, it looks like
looks like PyCharm. Oh no. Oh, yeah, looks like PyCharm.
PyCharm, maybe. And I think the developers also has to be like very fast. Otherwise, like they will not be able to finish everything in this this like in just 5 hours. Basically, like they will be having some 4 hours for development, and then 1 hour for installation, testing, and creating some documentation that they need to submit.
Yeah, now we're on to a front end competitor.
Yeah, this is like front end developer, and oh wow, so he's also using, I think this is Eclipse. This is not VS Code. Okay, so it's so and then he's using Eclipse. And so in front end, what we have is that it's not like that's specific for a single screen. So it's needed to be responsive. So if it's like a desktop, then usually we have 1920 by 1080 or something like that screen size. And when we compact it, it's like for tablet layout, we have like this 1024 pixels of width. So as the user it reduces the width of the browser, everything has to fit gracefully, and nothing should break. So this is one more thing like in front end that people have to consider when developing this front end website. So I think this is header section. Okay, I think this is something he's creating. Oh, this is the Figma design that he's trying to follow and then create it. So here also, like we can see the icons that we have. So you can like, if we have to use this icon, then we have to extract like like a 2x version of this icon, and then incorporate this in the website. Also, we can see some gradient on some of the text. So some filters might be there, they need to apply when developing the fun, like when writing the CSS also. And if we keep saying,
and also it gives them easy access to for the responsiveness of the UI, and reduces the chance that his schedule or what he is following will give him enough time to deal with the responsiveness and UI bugs, so that it will, at the final or at the end, it will be easier to the exact design of what is expected. I think that's the reason why he's using that design structure.
Yeah, that's correct. And also, like, we can see that capabilities section. So there we can see that we have 2 tabs. So as the user switches tabs, then also like there are different layouts. So multiple elements or multiple components needed to be created for those. And also we can see that in the header section, there can be like 1 component for the header. Then for the bottom section where we have capabilities, for that we can have a like tab type component, and below that there is a carousel. Near the footer we have something like a text box, so that for that also like we can have a component. So usually like when nowadays what we follow is that component based design. So just like we just create a single component and different JSON data, so that makes it easier to create the front end as well. So it's not like creating each and everything in the like a copy of everything one another. It's like just like create a one component, have some data, and pass the data to those component, and then it renders. Performance also plays a big role so in the front end. So when you are basically, if it's a good like if it's a Mac, then like most of the things are a high performance system with higher good processor and RAM, then everything renders smoothly. But if it's like most of the users don't have that high performance system, so they may use in a normal system. So when they scroll or when they change the width of the browser, so in those cases also like the website should perform very well, and there should not be any lags or some element missing. So when developing the front end, the developers has to take care of those things. So when they are writing CSS or when they are writing HTML or React code, so they have to write in a way that the performance always remains good in all types of devices.
Yeah. So the front end developers had the choice of Angular and React, and we're watching jonathan-irvings now, who chose to use Angular, and he's also using I think he's on a Mac and using VS Code, so a little bit different than what Soso was doing.
Soso was doing a different framework?
I couldn't tell what framework he was using.
Yeah, he was using, even the ID was different. He was using Eclipse.
I mean, React to Angular. I also didn't code it because I saw he was copy pasting from Figma, the basic markup, but I didn't go to what framework he then changed it.
Yeah, both the frameworks are like component based, so there is not like much difference. So anyone, it's like either you use React or Angular, the complexity is almost the same.
Yeah, I think here the main challenge that you have to fit it in 5-hour time. So I mean, both challenges are not extraordinary tasks, but when you have to compress it in 5 hours, it's quite challenging. And especially when you start doing the components, it's usually requires some calm and careful planning what this component should be so they are reusable in the best way. But then when you're racing against the time, it's difficult to do.
Yeah, and then
I think they're trying to speed it up, basically taking the markup from the design and then turn it into component, but then I think they can make mistakes on the way because they start from particular uses.
Some of the things can be copied directly, like style can be copied from Figma, but you need to modify a bit of that. So you cannot copy everything, but just like intelligently, like you can just copy some of the things and then write some of your code. So it's better. And for the carousel component, like you can use the third-party plugin. So that's also like a good choice. Like you can quickly, if you write everything for carousel component, it will take time. If you use some library, it's like you can quickly integrate it. I think members also have the choice to use code from Stack Overflow or some other website. So what I'm saying that some developers are using that. They are following those documentation or something to write their code.
I think the design itself, it follows the brand book of the Topcoder website in general. So those developers who developed in past, who competed in challenges for Topcoder itself, they probably have the head start here because they're already familiar with the design and the components you can encounter there.
Yeah, that also. But usually these components are like general components, and most of the website has these components. So it's like most of the developers might be like more familiar with this. So we are not but because like there are too much to develop, so developing this at a fast speed, so this might be challenging because otherwise like people may make mistakes when developing something. So might be like when they submit, something is missing and the carousel does not work or the icon is incorrect. So fitting like developing and then like everything in this 4 or 5 hours, it's challenging in this case.
Yeah, and that was kind of the goal, was to set something that was difficult, not impossible to do, but definitely difficult to kind of, we didn't want everybody to do a perfect job because then it's very hard to review and pick a winner. So we set a very hard task and hoping that would kind of spread out the people for scoring and picking a winner.
So are the reviewers are also going to consider like the way people code, or they are only going to match the website with the design? So if somebody, suppose that if they are not creating components, they are just like writing everything like in a bad way, and a developer who is writing a code in a good way, creating components. So is that also going to matter, or just like you need to match?
It would, because the scorecard asks about that. So there are scorecard questions about code quality and kind of that dry, don't repeat yourself approach to programming. So the reviewers would have caught that if somebody had done a really poor job and just spaghetti coded it, they would get a lower score.
Yeah. And like I also remember like one of my past TCOs, so somebody uses the wrong tool. So it was said that you need to use, let's say that React, and Angular was not allowed. So if you are using some different language, then also like it's a bit risky. You can lose a lot of points. So if it's said that React and Angular, then people must use React or Angular. If somebody uses Vue, I think, or they do not try to use any framework, then they may lose some points or a lot of points.
Definitely.
So this is also some.
Oh, it's interesting. It seems like everybody who is comfortable with JavaScript, they prefer to work on the front end.
Yeah, you can also use like Node.js, TypeScript, but I guess this.
Yeah, I was surprised that we didn't get anybody that did the backend in Node. That we had one Java and one Python, but no Node submission.
Yeah, I mean, it's no wonder that the people who are comfortable with Java or Python decided to do the backend work, because with this you cannot do the front end easily. But then it seems like everybody who probably could choose between front end and the backend, they all went to the front end.
Yeah, in the backend, like you have some kind of certainty. Like if you coded everything very well and all the unit test is passing, then probably you are going to get like more point. But in front end, there's kind of thing like even if you created something, but when somebody is testing it, you miss something, or the tester like reviewers, they are missing something, or something is not working. So I think there's kind of risk. Everything cannot be like a unit test thing. But for the backend, it's like, yeah, those APIs are returning the data, everything is working, then you get the full point.
Yep.
So Sandy, which one would you choose if you have the choice?
I'm a front-end developer, so obviously I will be going for the front-end. I think most of the developers also selected this kind of, so if they are mostly participating in front-end challenges, they might have selected the front-end. And if they are in backend, then API development. And if you have the choice, what you would have selected?
I was really doubting, but I think better backend. It kind of seems a bit more simpler to code.
Yeah.
I would.
Also, in general, I have more experience with front end, but the backend seems to be a bit easier.
Yeah, especially with the backend is a bit fast with the different frameworks that are available now. It is easier for you to document in Swagger, the APIs into Swagger, and I think backend it's a bit fun. But for the guys who went for the front end, I think they are comfortable with JavaScript. That's why they went ahead with the front end.
Yeah, in backend also you can select TypeScript or Node.js if you are familiar, but it depends like what the developers prefer. So if they are developing more websites, then they will select front end, or if they develop the APIs backend, then they prefer choosing the backend technology.
I think the backend would be way fast and easy to program with JavaScript. And my concern would be the Swagger part, and all, especially the unit testing, because I think the requirement was to do 90% coverage at least, which is a bit tricky to do, especially in short time frame.
Oh, yeah, I think you are more familiar with the backend, so that's why like you feel it's better. So I'm just like more familiar with the frontend, so I feel that at least like 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours, members can develop the Figma design. So if you are good developers like or like other developers who like made it to the finals, for them I guess it's easier to develop it.
Were they required to achieve the pixel accuracy ideally on the front end?
Yeah, this time it's required. So that is also one of the cases. So if you make a 2 pixel more or 3 pixel less, or you make the icon size wrong, then you lose point. And then in Topcoder challenges, those things are like very critical. And then like when I used to compete in, then also like if somebody gets 99 and you get 99, 98 or something like that, only because like you missed just like 1 or 2 pixels. So those things do matter in front-end challenges. Is there anything similar in the backend challenges? There's just like pixel precision that backend developers, if they miss it, like just like a small, but if they miss, they will lose point.
For this challenge, it would have been unit tests if you didn't get coverage quite right, and we required linting. So if you had like a code formatting issue or something, you could have lost points for lint issues.
So for the guys who used Node.js, they will be more in an advantage position, I think, so that they do their intent process quite easier.
Yeah, well, and I think both the backend developers just ignored the linting requirement, to be honest, and just took the hit on the points.
Some of the code editors are like nowadays, if you select VS Code, then they perform live linting. So, and even if you just to do a quick formatting, then those lints they are added automatically. So if you select a proper browser, then also it gives you a bit of advantage. You don't have to worry about linting.
Yeah.
Good luck, TCO finalists. You're really cooking now, and you're baking a difference.
Hi everyone, congratulations for making it to TCO Finals. I know it was a lot of hard work for many of you. This year we have prepared many exciting things that I look forward to it. I wish everyone good luck in the competitions and have fun.
Hello, I'm Kets. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you all the best for the upcoming competitions, and I hope you do your best and have a favorable result for yourself. So, all the best again.
Hello fellow Topcoders, my name is Vinat Sergeyev, nickname Garinich, and I am welcoming you to Boston for TCO 2022.
Hey guys, congratulations on making it to TCO 2022. We just wanted to stop and say congratulations, and we wish you luck.
Good luck. Have fun.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Harrison Wells. I would like to congratulate you all for making this far, and I wish you best of luck for the Topcoder Finals.
Hello everyone, my name is Charles Sorgo and I'm a freelance software developer. I come from Burkina Faso and I will be representing France at the TCO Finals in the First2Finish category. I'm very excited to see you all there in November.
Hello everyone, my name is Chinmay. My Topcoder handle is chinwig66. I am from India. This is my first TCO Finals and I will be competing in the First2Finish Finals.
Also known as neonray, I will be representing Turkey in First2Finish Finals.
Hi, this is Nursoltan from Mongolia. I'm going to participate in QA, development and First2Finish tracks. Good luck and have fun.
All right. So I think the problem statements are they are definitely 14, and it's really interesting to see the participants taking choices of the problems they want to handle. But Bills, can you tell us how the points will be calculated? Since there are different problems, and others may find that they did not participate in all.
Okay, you mean the points assigned to each problem?
Yeah, the overall points for.
Oh, okay. So
because they are different problem statements.
Yes, they are different. Yeah, absolutely. So actually, I didn't calculate the overall points, but we just assign the points to each problem based on its complexity and difficulty level. And actually, we have 14 problems. and we can divide them into two groups. Like problem 1 to problem 9 is about to build a financial web app, including the front end and back end, even some like mobile app development for push notification. And for the problem 10 to problem 14 is about bug fix of another app. So they can be divided into two different groups. And for the points, it's just based on its difficulty levels.
Okay, so is this like previous first to finish challenges where we have easy, medium, hard?
Yes,
or is it
yes.
just okay?
Yeah, quite similar, but a little bit different because in the past year, all the problems of the same level will have the same points. But this year, we don't have the easy level, but we just assign the points. And the prize money of each problem is the points that are assigned to this problem.
Okay, sounds good.
Have you seen what's the like favorite problem most participants chosen to start with?
Well, I think the first one like converts the CSV to JSON. I think this one is quite straightforward, and we seems like most participants start with this one. But I know some will start with like problem 10 to problem 14 because this is a bug fix. It seems like maybe bug fixes are much easier than others.
Cool. So is the where the competitors are aware of the like relationship between the problems? So like you know that the other problems are based on the previous problems.
Yes,
so like,
yes.
Based on one. Okay, sounds good. That's a bit different from the previous first to finish challenges in the previous TCOs. That's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
We're now watching the screen of nursoltan-s from Mongolia. I know he was finalist in 2 competitions this year in development and in first to finish now. And it seems he is looking at the problem to build this price chart, correct?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, it's a price chart about the euro to USD. You know, even this year, euro was cheaper than USD. That's the historical.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's more expensive.
Yeah, it is. So he's been a finalist in the 2021 championship as well. Was he in first to finish or development in 2021? Any idea? That?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
And I just realized that nursoltan, he's the only person who participated in problem number 13. He was the only submitter there. I think he set in a very nice pace, having the development background now to first to finish and choosing the back end and also the front end. I think he's becoming more of a champ in this area. And so unlike if we can have like neonray also from going to other problem statements and having that these problems are related from if you solve problems, let's say problem 12 now head into problem 13, there's they kind of have similarities. I think anybody with the idea, the kind of approach to where he got to a point now he's able to submit fast, unlike the others.
Cool. So yeah, I just looked up his profile on Topcoder.com. He was a 2021 QA finalist, which is interesting. So QA is a bit different from development and first to finish. So it's really interesting to see him compete in this.
I have impression he's not really committed to one particular track and pretty much all around all aspects of software development.
Yeah, that's
now I see that he's programming in JavaScript and looking for some libraries to actually draw the chart he's asked to draw. I wonder, was the technical stack fixed for these problems, or were they free to choose what they use? Bill? Anyway, now we look for Atepir from France.
Yeah, I think this is his first TCO. So it's interesting to see new faces as well participating in the Topcoder Championship.
Yeah, but I see that he has won 134 challenges already.
Yeah.
Or maybe not won, but participated. So kind of a lot of experience there.
Yes, with 12 wins in the stats.
Yeah, those are many challenges called having that percentage. Okay, so let's see. They all was the problems, were the technology stacks static, or they had to choose for this problem? They were to strictly use React.js and or Angular.js. And I think mostly they are going with the React.js so far. As
Yes,
the front
so
end.
yeah, so that's an advantage with JavaScript. I mean, you can easily build out your prototypes and solution very quickly. Very easy to get started up and running with those technologies. So I think that's why most of them are going to use that at this point. And remember that it's all about speed. Like you have to be very fast. You have to finish first and submit before every other person. So being able to implement your solution very fast is very important.
Are the rules here still the same, that whoever solve the problem first, he gets all the points and the rest get nothing for that problem?
Yeah, I think how has the Bills, how has the scoring changed for this edition of the events? Is it still the same? First place gets all the points, and then the next person gets no points?
Yes.
Or...
I think the percentage is actually the same in the past year. So the first pass submission will got to 100% of the points, and the second pass submission will get 50% of the points, just half, and for the others 20%. So the speed and accuracy is quite important. Also, they need to they need to make the strategy more enough, like stacked which challenge to start. The order is quite important.
Okay. Then is there a live scoreboard as well, or is it everything going to be a manual review? Like when they finish?
Yes, everything will be a manual review. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
And was it reviewed during the challenge or after the competition ended?
No, after the competition. And this year we didn't have like a live board to show like which person submitted to which problem. In the past year we had, but this year we don't have that.
We're now looking at My Goodness from India, and he actually also was in 2 tracks of the finals this year, in the software development and now in First2Finish.
Yeah, and this is the first TCO, and I've seen now Atepir, my goodness, this is their first TCO, and they are really doing good. So, and I think from my predictions so far, I don't know what to make, but I can say that we have a nice progress so far. Maybe I'll try to make a prediction. We have now the first time TCO upcoming Topcoder members really doing it well. And his approach, I'm trying to see, it's almost similar to what nursoltan was really actually using. So let's see maybe how it will go at the end, but let me for now keep my prediction. Maybe at the end I'll be able to predict, but I see they are using the nice approach.
So who's your favorite to win this edition?
Oh, nursoltan, I think. He's the speed is favorable to him because he's been used to solving these development challenges. And as you can see from the stats, this being the second TCO, and the number of challenges he has participated in, 702 from, is it 2019? Yes. So that a short period, having participated in that number of challenges, it's crazy. So I think he has built the momentum to solve these challenges with the best speed and accuracy. So my bet is going to nursoltan. Yeah. What about you?
Well, I'm still on the fence. I'm still on the fence. Okay, sorry, Sergey, go ahead.
I don't really know. I mean, all participants are apparently very experienced, so I think pretty much every one of them can win.
Yeah, all of them are doing work. I think with the speed, how they are moving on with the speed, I think it's really awesome. Plus, how nursoltan is confirming from the UI, how UI is fit from the design. Now going back to the code, checking on his progress as per the design makes him more of a champion to this. That's why I'm betting for him on the approaches he's taking.
Yeah, I also think neonray has a chance. He was a finalist in 2019 and 2020 in the First2Finish competition as well. So he's also like he has a lot of experience with the format and might stand a chance to win this edition. I guess we'll find out sooner.
Yeah, now we are looking at mhykol. He has participated in over 2,000 challenges. Okay. So, and now, again, we see now neonray, the possibility you said, this being his third TCO with 122 challenges. Yeah, he's, I think he's doing really awesome.
Look
I
at
think
his
now
win percentage. It's 45% of challenges he won. That's really great.
Yeah.
Very good. I think this is more competitive with nursoltan, neonray, and all the other. I know they are doing all the best, and that's really important to keep focus. Maybe they might pull a shocker to this. So, but with the starts with neonray, oh, now I'm torn in between the two, nursoltan and neonray. But let's see, they have quite a nice progress.
Oh. So Bills, what would you say your favorite problem out of everything is? Like out of the 14 problems?
Yeah, so actually, my favorite problem is the problem 9 to build the like candlestick chart for the price chart. Yeah, actually, I got the price sheet. I think I prepared the 1 year of euro to USD exchange rate, and we need to draw this kind of chart. I know in the past we almost don't have such kind of problem like in the regular Topcoder challenges, but I think it's very interesting.
Okay, so that I think that's the first thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So the are they allowed to use third-party libraries or implement that themselves? Can they use third-party libraries? Okay, cool.
I think it's half of the success in this kind of competition is just to pick up a good library which provide you with all the tooling right away, because if you have to implement something yourself, probably take longer.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to have the like wide knowledge, like what kind of library they can use, and they should pick to solve this problem.
In this context, those who participated in many challenges in past probably have a bit advantage because they probably encountered more challenges which require different stuff, so they just know more stuff already. Don't have to investigate it right now on spot.
Yeah, that's true. So I think it looks like mhykol is the oldest member. Like he's been a member since 2004. So that's he also has a lot of experience. Looking at the number of challenges, he's participated in a lot, like over 2,000 challenges with over 200 wins. So I guess that's also under somebody else we can consider to get the first place. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
Yeah, this seems to be a more competitive back to back, because almost everyone has experience in the. If you check on the total number of challenges they have participated in, and that comes with the experience. So let's see how it goes, and so I don't know which problem statement participants found it interesting, but I was checking on the problem statement number 3, which was to add a progress bar at the top. So unlike problem number 1, in which most participants engage themselves in, also problem number 3 was a bit of the favorite. Okay, and as the problem, they went down to other problems, the number of participants decreased. So is taking another angle. So let's see maybe how it will go for all the problem statements as they move towards the finish line, and especially finishing at the right time and with accuracy, considering the number of participants per problem. It's very key.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Do you know, was there anybody who did all the problems?
Yeah, I think we have almost, they handled the problems, but with the submitters, we see maybe we have 2 or 1 participants engaging all the problems. And I think up to problem number 13, maybe nursoltan handled the problem. Maybe with the speed and the experience he has, and now by handling all the challenges so far.
Cool.
I see
so I would imagine
that we have 5 minutes left.
Yeah. So I would imagine that from the starting from the first problem all the way to the last problem, the difficulty increases. So that's why most of them probably won't be able to submit for everything. So looking at the first problem, it's just like a simple conversion, CSV to JSON. I imagine that takes about like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. So what's the total amount of time the competitors had built this in for the competition?
Okay, so they have 4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours to finish the 14 problems.
Yeah, so as the difficulty increases, it's going to take more time to work on the problem, and that's so it's meant to increase in difficulty. Challenge meant to increase as you go through the higher problems. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see the results. Any last thoughts, Rocket Surgery?
I think mine is just to wish the participants or the competitors with the best win, but also to be more motivated with the outcome to everyone. So because this is a nice way to have their skills put on stage as they showcase their effort and competitiveness up there. So mine is to just wish all the best as we wait for the results.
I also would like to wish you good luck. Really curious to see who's gonna be the winner, and who not gonna win. They should remember that making it to the final already a great achievement, because like even competition before arriving to the final is really tough.
Cool. Bills, any last thoughts? Any last words?
Yeah, so I was very happy to see like all the best of best talents to solve the problems that I wrote. Yeah, it was great and thrilling. Yeah, and just say best luck to everyone, and let's see who will be the winner.
Cool. So another interesting stats before we wrap up. We have about 7 out of 10 of the competitors this is their first TCO. That's also interesting to see. It's interesting to see new people, being able to make it to TCO versus the veteran members. So that's very good to see. So I think all I have to say is I'm looking forward to seeing the results, and wish everyone all the best. Over to Father.
Hey, Topcoder members, welcome to the Topcoder Open 2022. Really hope you enjoy the event and enjoy the experience. You've all worked really, really hard to get to this point. It's a great accomplishment to achieve. So congratulations to all of you, and best of luck in the competitions.
Hi everyone, this is Ray Mitchell, the head of the member product organization at Topcoder. Very excited to see all of the TCO finalists this year, and wanted to wish you all the best of luck.
Congratulations, TCO finalists. I'm eisbilir. I'm the Chief of Staff at Topcoder. So excited for you. Just wanted to wish you good luck as you go into this final stage. We're all really proud of you, and we're grateful to have you as part of our community. Have fun and good luck.
I'm Ben Wordsmith, and on behalf of everyone here at Topcoder, we're wishing you the best of luck on your way to the finals. Keep pushing. Your ambition will take you far.
Hey TCO finalists, we are in the TCO season, and I am so excited and I cannot keep calm to see you all compete in TCO22 and take that wonderful TCO trophy home. Good luck to you.
Hi, I'm Nuan from Sri Lanka. My handle is codejam.
Hi, I am Emre eisbilir from Turkey.
Hi, my name is Ray Martama. My Topcoder handle is Master54 and I'm from the Philippines.
Hello guys, myself Nilesh Kumar Jangil. I am from India and my Topcoder ID is NKJ_98. Thank you guys.
Hi, this is nursoltan from Mongolia. I'm going to participate in QA, development and First2Finish tracks. Good luck and have fun.
Hi, my name is paulostorare. I am Brazilian. I am very happy to be here in the wonderful community to participate in the final. My track is Key A. Team Topcoder, thanks for existing.
Hi, I'm Manohar. I'm from India, Bangalore, and my Topcoder handle is SHA392EDU. I'm participating in the TCO22 Finalist QA track.
Hi everyone, my name is Kumar Jangil. I come from India and I participate in Topcoder with the Topcoder ID Solom95. Have a good day guys.
Hey, I'm Karthik from United States, also called as youDare, QA track finalist.
So this is I think this is the best competition I've seen. Almost the top members who are very competitive. Saying that from the QA perspective, of which I've been mostly involved myself in, and I see we have eisbilir, if I'm pronouncing that well. This is the second TCO, and the win percentile at 60%. He's doing it well. The winning percentile is quite awesome. So I think the approach, if I may ask Deepak a question. So from what perspective are they starting with the manual testing, or how does the manual testing for this TCO 2022, was it complicated, or is it complicated for them, for everybody to start over, or when they were getting on board, they already had the setup?
Yeah, but this time we used as a platform Zoom to make the online session. And for this time, we have given the same test case executions and applications. The difference between this year and last year is like we have given 2 applications for this time for finding the bugs. And as a comparison to last year, we got more bugs as compared to last year. And this year we have given the one e-learning platform where teacher can teach the students through the online, right? So at the same time, we have given the one application which was developed from our TCO event itself. That application was designed by our design finalist, and that was developed by our development finalist. And then we have tested these applications, and we will give that box for the final F2F track. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. That's amazing. I can say Solab, he's really focusing on the reporting of the bug, or finding the bug first, then reporting as later. Then I think that's also a best approach. First finding the bug before finding them on the dashboard. So what do you have to say, Gondo, on his approach? First finding the bug, then going to
I think
report them.
He's finding the bugs and verify whether the bug is valid or not, and switch the screen and can create the issue. And you can see he's switching very fast, and now he's creating the issue.
Yeah, he's focusing most on I think his perspective is first find the bug, then listing them the steps. I think right now he's listing the step even before verifying. I think verification is his last step.
Yes.
And I think also it's also another an approach that is quite productive. Yeah, trying to find a text remit, etc. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now we are looking at youDare. This is his second TCO, and the win percentage is 16%. And but if you look at his the total number of challenges, 141. It's really a nice thing, and it shows how competitive he is. Him being in the second TCO. Okay, let's see what it's really focusing into.
He has many wins in QA tech. 39 wins.
Yes, 39 wins. He's taking the same approach, being fast by finding the bugs, reporting them. And I know this phase is usually interesting and important because the final phase, which is to verify the other participants' bug, which is very critical. I think first identifying, then being accurate itself also plays a huge role. He has almost the same approach.
Yes, here we can have codejam. Codejam is a member from Sri Lanka. More than 300 competitions in and the win percentage is very high, above 60%.
Yeah, and I think that's a very high percentage, and this is his fourth TCO. Codejam is very competitive, and especially from the last TCO. His speed is actually very great. He's very great at speed and the accuracy at, we consider. And if you check on the total number of wins, 244, total number of challenges, 322, that tells you it's going to be a tight race if you compare now Codejam and youDare. So for Codejam is almost the double the number of challenges.
Yes, he has most of the wins.
Yes. So okay, for Deepak, for the final phase, which is to verify other participants' bugs, what approach do you think is the best? Because they are almost having the similar perspective. First, finding the bug. I've not seen the verification yet. They are still reporting them. I think. What do you think is the best approach here to avoid the last phase being denied the point or getting the points for other participants' bug? Which is the best approach?
From my point of view, I think when I find a bug, I will report it, and if it is a valid bug and I report it first, I can earn a point, even if maybe the bug can be also reported by other member. But if I reported the first one, I can earn this point. This a general rule. Also, in this QA finalists, we also have a challenge round. A challenge round means that members can challenge each other's bugs and can assign themselves and to verify whether it's a bug or not. So if you can verify a bug, you can earn some points. If you can verify that it is not a bug, so you can win the points from that member. So this is also challenging for the competitors. If I was in this approach, I will be report as many bugs as I can. Not do the twice maybe verification by myself, rather than that, because I can report more in a limited time.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to go. I see we have swap 12, and also we have Shah from India. This is his first TCO. It's nice to see we have new faces for QA for the QA.
Yes.
Yeah. His win percentile is 38% for 14 wins, and total of 97 challenges. He's quite doing well, and let's see nursoltan. I've seen nursoltan.
He has some thinking of some.
Yeah. For nursoltan, I think he's engaging himself into 3 tracks at TCO, first to finish, and development, and now QA. And if you check the number of wins for the QA is 87, and now this being his second TCO, I think this praises this QA as I think it is a tight race, because we see everyone is a potential to emerge at the top, considering the experience they have and the number of challenges.
This member, I remember, he is also active in development track, and like React mobile development, one of my project, and he participated in most of the challenges. And I mean, I guess he has been some of them. React mobile development, he's moving very fast and submit very fast. So let's see how his performance will be in this QA track.
Yeah, from the development background, I think he has quite better snippets of what to look for, especially the front, the UI, the functional bugs. He has the concepts at hand. That's why I said from the experience of the number of challenges he has handled, I think this is going to be a tight race, and will be shocking to see who will be reading. If we move to codejam, let's see, codejam, we compare nursoltan participation, and now we compare nursoltan and codejam. You see his percentage win is 62%, while for codejam is still 62%.
Yes.
For codejam is 62%. Yeah. So I think this is going to be a tight race.
Yeah.
Considering the experience. But for codejam, he is more into QA, so that gives him an advantage how to handle these problems. Okay, so here we have Paulo, who is this is the first TCO, 1 win, 1 challenge. Wow, he did it 1 time. Yeah.
From Brazil.
Yes. Yeah, I think this is a very unpredictable track where everyone seems to be a champion, and his win percentage is 100%. I think it's going to be a very tight race, like I said. And we have Max 054 from Philippines. He's a very competitive guy. I think from challenges I have participated where I was involved, he's very quick. I think Max 054, youDare, codejam, and the other participants, they are all competitive. This is very unpredictable. Okay, I see he has a very different approach. If you may identify. Okay. Yeah, he has a very different approach. He split the screen so that as he is identifying the bug, he can verify.
It's a very smart choice.
Yes.
Smart choice.
So,
you can work simultaneously and while doing some wording items, and also capture some pictures. You can see the approach will save some time.
Yes. Interesting. Actually, he's the first one to use that approach. He split the screen, search the bug, whether it's duplicate, and also report the new bugs. That's a very nice approach. Yeah, we also have Subhu from Nepal. Second TCO winning percentage 37%, total wins 47, and 177 challenges. He's done a great work. Let's see the approach. Okay. Okay, we have also Solab, who's also the first TCO winning percentage 33%, 14 wins. Yeah, this is also quite a good race. We have seen the new Topcoder members at this QA finalists.
Yes.
They have really done a best job. Okay. Most of them, they are using the same approach. First identifying the bugs, reporting. Okay, right here he's just reading the instructions, I think.
So if a member is reading the instructions during the contest, I think it will waste some time to find the bug. Maybe this material should be familiar with earlier before the contest begins, I think. So this is not a good choice if you still find some instructions and challenge point, something like that. It's not smart. It's not smart approach, I think. But maybe make sure everything is done is better for a competitor in this situation. But it's not a smart choice if we are still reading through the instructions of the competition rules. Here we have.
Yeah, I think.
Here we have a member from Turkey. Eisbilir, maybe. Win percentage is very high.
Yeah. very high. He has almost double the wins of the total number of challenges he has participated in QA. So he's very competitive. So this is a very tight race. If I were to predict who is to win, it's I would fail to do so because everyone here seems to be best at what they're doing.
Yes, facing each other very tightly.
Very tight. Quite nice.
Yes.
First by identifying the bug, but except for the last participant who have to read the rules during the context, that will steal time, of which it will, like you said, it's not a good approach, because for QA it's all about speed, accuracy, and avoiding duplicates. Yeah.
You have to balance this your speed, your accuracy, and also you can choose to find more bugs. You don't have to time to think more. Just move on to the next bug, move on to the next bug, and find more bugs and report, more bugs and report. This is generally very approach. It's my approach if I am competing in this kind of bug hunt. Also, according to the rules of the TCO finalist, if you can challenge others' bugs, you can also earn some points. So this is also a way to gain more points from this competition. So this is it is very difficult to predict some of the member. This member can be the first place or second place, but we can read through from the past performance and the history in percentage of something like that to predict. And what I can predict is maybe codejam, youDare, maybe these two members, I think maybe can take some better place. What do you think?
Yeah, I think codejam is very competitive, especially when it comes to speed. But so I might consider codejam, and this time round to see Max 054 come at the top. Yeah, and youDare. So Max 054 has been doing some amazing job at QA. So I'm also can vouch for that. But let's see how it goes. But regarding the statistics, the past statistics, let's say everyone is capable, especially for the new participants. They have shown a good track record so far from the challenges and the number of wins they have scored. I think everyone is capable to pull it off. So for Deepak, so what do you think on the participants, the time they took to report the bugs? So who really took the best route to find the bugs?
Well, I think it's difficult to say, because you can say everyone moves very fast, and also if we do not have compare some the details of the bugs, we cannot figure out maybe some bugs was found at the almost same time. So you cannot say who has the most bug they reported. Only after they have challenged each other, and we'll see that who reported first and who reported a valid bug or invalid bug or something like that. So this is very challenging for us to predict, because in the challenge phase, members will be competing with each other to challenge each other's bugs and also verify that it is a bug or not. So it is very interesting rule, because usually in Topcoder QA competitions, the verification was done by Copilot or by reviewer. But in this challenge, you can find that members will fight against each other. It's very like the traditional SRM. In SRM algorithm competitions in the arena, if you submit problem earlier, you can earn some good points. But if during the challenge phase, you are challenged with some test case, you fail, you will earn 0 points to that problem. So it's very challenging, because for you have to manage your time, manage your speed, and also report as more bugs as you can, and also you can earn some more points when you challenge some bugs very successful. It's very interesting rule, but it's very, I think it's good for competition, because it will fund members. You can see the members can earn more way of points.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for this QA track, each participant should focus on each track, right? Each phase, like test case execution phase also, they have to give the 100%, and bug hunt phase also they have to give 100%, and in the same ways, challenge phase also they have to do the good performance. Otherwise, it's a very hard to win the challenge from if the participant miss out of any phase. That's the main thing.
Yes. So this rule is very interesting, and is very helpful for our competition, because I think it's very for members, competition is very good, because it will let you find more bugs and verify more bugs, and you can earn more points from that. From every action, you can earn some points.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right.
So about the next year, of the QA track, what do you think we can have? Maybe we can. What do you think we can improve our competition, or what we can expect about the finalists of QA track? The QA track is usually we have some bug hunt, text case extrication, but maybe we can have some maybe new ways or new rules of that. What do you think? Or do you have some interesting ideas about that?
Yeah, I think if we see the list of the participant in QA track, we have like from automation background also. So few participant is asking for me to have a challenge for automation track also. So might be we can add one more module for automation track also. Let's see how we are going to plan for next year. Yeah, the automation part should also include.
Automation part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Robinson, you want to add on other things?
So let us hope we can compete on site next year. We can expect members meeting each other together to have the competition and enjoy this the way to championship.
Exactly.
Hi, Topcoders. My name is Adam mhykol. I'm a lead engineer here at Wipro and Topcoder, and I'm also a member. Handles JPEG, JAY_PEG. Yeah, they wouldn't let me make it 4 characters when I joined. Anyway, so I'm going to give a little talk on anti-patterns. Everybody's probably familiar with them. I find them really interesting because, frankly, they're kind of amusing. Great example, reinventing the square wheel. Right, reinventing the square wheel refers to building some software that you could buy off the shelf, but then doing a worse job than the off-the-shelf software would be. For example, you would never build a word processor for yourself to use. All the professional word processors are cheaper, and it would take you a long time. And you'd build a word processor that was far worse than anything you could buy off the shelf. So they're definitely, if you ever get a chance to just scroll through an anti-pattern catalog, they're pretty funny. But I find them really interesting because for a couple reasons. One is, other than they're funny, one is that they're not like patterns in that they don't stick around. So every time you use a design pattern correctly, an anti-pattern kind of goes away, right? You remove the possibility for a certain anti-pattern to happen. And so what's interesting is what's happening with all the frameworks and changes that have come out since anti-patterns were noticed and the first book was published. You're not seeing a lot of them. And that's because patterns are being built into software that weren't before, and you're seeing some anti-patterns go away. And you're also seeing some anti-patterns embraced, and we'll go through a couple of those. So mainly you'll notice a theme running through here, which is this is an anti-pattern, and look, it's kind of going away because of the direction that the industry is taking. So, but we'll get to the end. There's definitely some that are still out there, and they're both funny and interesting. So the first one, I just want to talk about cargo cult programming. It's a great name for an anti-pattern. It's got a great backstory to it. So cargo cult came from World War II when there were these islands in the Pacific and the people that lived there had never met Americans or the Japanese. And suddenly, these people showed up on their islands with vehicles and clothing and just all this stuff. And so it created this whole myth because they didn't have any way to understand or view the construction of such items. Like where did a Jeep come from? They invented an entire mythology around where these things came from. And, as you might imagine, the mythology was mostly incorrect. And it had to do with, these imaginary places that good things came from. And so cargo cult programming is sort of refers to the same thing in programming, right? We all decide to use a framework because we always have, or we think it gives us some benefit that it doesn't. And in fact, we may even go through the motions of actually instantiating the framework without ever thinking about what the framework actually does for us. Now, this doesn't happen so much anymore because we use tech stacks a lot. And so what happens is the tech stacks are updated. People are kept up to date on how to use them. And so there's not that many tools out there like there used to be that actually people, have superstition about. But it does happen. And as top coders, you're, very senior developers, and you're going to go into environments where you see maybe more junior folks using stuff that doesn't make any sense. And that's, kind of an example of cargo cult programming. The best example I can give is, okay, I want a red car, right? Lots of people do buy cars for that reason. I want a red car, right? It's okay. It doesn't really matter, precisely what model it is. But, I want a red car. Okay, or a red shirt. But, if that was your only criterion, right, you might end up with, like in this slide, a fire truck. So that's essentially sort of the epitome of the cargo cult programming is you want a red vehicle. You don't pay any attention to anything else about it. You might end up with a fire truck, even though what you really wanted was something to commute to work with. Another one that's not as common anymore, but it definitely does happen. You want to watch out for it because it'd be very, very expensive. Abstraction inversion. So this is basically... I don't know if you have any background in electronics, but imagine that you took a bunch of capacitors and wired them to a board and built a battery out of them. Okay, well, that would be kind of an expensive battery and it might not work very well. And it was built from, more complex parts underneath. It would have been cheaper just to start with a battery. So abstraction inversion is essentially the same thing. And the classic example is here on the left, right? In the original Apple Basic, there was no integer arithmetic. There was only floating point arithmetic. So they manufactured integer arithmetic by using floating point arithmetic, and it slowed everything down, which was a bigger problem back then than today. So abstraction inversion actually isn't a problem itself. Yes, it makes things slower, but if you don't care, that's fine. And it also potentially exposes complex functionality that you don't want exposed. So if you do that, then you possibly run into an error. So a great way to correctly use abstraction inversion is making a node module from more complex node modules and building something simpler. Totally fine, right? Memory's there, CPU space is there. It's nice and simple. Lots of people use it and keep the module up to date, and that's great. If you don't care about speed, right, you could use a Boolean type, a Boolean object, right, instead of a primitive byte to represent, the number 0 or 1. And that's obviously going to slow things down. So if you're writing video games, you probably don't want to do that. A really bad use of abstraction inversion. Here's a great example: using a currency data type as a floating point. I don't know that anyone would do this. This is kind of a manufactured example. But in a currency data type, it might be that when you instantiate the currency, you might instantiate it in a particular currency, like dollars or euros. And then if you change the currency, right, it may then translate the number of dollars to the equivalent number of euros and actually change the floating point value that it produces. So if you use a currency data type as a floating point and you allow the changing of the currency type, right, to be exposed, someone might use that method, change the currency type, and then actually you'd have like kind of a big problem because all the numbers it would be storing would be incorrect. So that's kind of an example. So that one's not dead yet. That's not something that's been refactored out of systems, but it's still there. And if you're working in computationally complex systems or anything like that, it's definitely an anti-pattern that crops up and should be looking for. Another one I find, this one is really interesting. It's the anemic domain model. And this was kind of found when everything was about encapsulation, and really a lot of frameworks are not about encapsulation anymore. And people don't want to use a database directly anymore. They do want to take data from the database and put it into a local model in memory, and that makes a lot of sense as well. So I think, the argument against using an anemic domain model is that you would like the logic associated with data to be near the data, so that if you wanted to physically in the code, just like this example on the top right, okay, the logic that determines the area of the rectangle is built into the rectangle object. So that's kind of nice because it understands its own data as opposed to having this in some service layer somewhere. However, the frameworks we have are very much about, bringing a copy of the database into local memory. And so it's pretty common to have anemic domain models all the time, and it's really not that big a deal. So I wouldn't say this is a good thing necessarily, but it's not really a problem. Here's a great one. And this one has also mostly been eliminated. In fact, I would say this one probably doesn't even happen anymore, except in probably shops that are, use fairly complicated software or complex algorithms or that sort of thing. And it basically goes something like this. Let's make an app. Okay, what do you want to use for a database? Okay, you pick your database. You start to use the database. You don't think about necessarily what you're going to use for the UI. Is it a web app? Is it something else? And someone says, okay, we need to pick our programming language for the middle tier. Let's say it's one of those things, right? And so you pick a programming language for the middle tier because you like it or it goes with the database. Then someone says, okay, now we need, something for logging, or we need something for this or something for that. And it's very similar to using a greedy algorithm in programming. You can successively make choices of technologies for your architecture and then find that you've painted yourself into a corner. Now, this normally happened with more inexperienced teams before there was standardization of tech stack. So to be honest, I haven't actually seen this in the wild in a very long time. And so if I use the conservation status categorization for animals and living things on the earth, I wouldn't say this is extinct necessarily. It probably does happen. There's a good chance it's extinct in the wild, only happens maybe in, like I said, places with computationally complex environments, but I'm going to call it critically endangered. And it's probably not coming back. This is probably not a pattern, an anti-pattern that anybody's ever probably going to see in real life. And so that kind of goes back to what I was saying. It may come a time when there aren't any anti-patterns, right? Knowing about anti-patterns might be the same as, knowing how to use a quill, pen, and ink. So this is kind of interesting. This one really has gone away. Finally, I want to talk about a pattern that's very funny, and it's happening, and it's not going away. So what I've got here, I didn't put up the URLs because I wasn't sure if you're going to be able to copy them, but I did a QR code of a couple of clips from this movie, and it's called The Ghost in the Darkness. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's kind of a dated movie, but it's got some really good scenes, some good acting. And the movie's basically about these people trying to build a railroad in Africa somewhere. And there's a couple of lions that come along and terrorize the people working on the railroad. And of course they quit because nobody wants to be eaten by lions. And so the whole movie is about a couple of fellows who are trying to hunt down these lions. Anyway, there's a great scene in this. And so if you watch clip 1, it sets up the scene. They're basically describing how they're going to trap and shoot the lions, right? And then clip 2 shows how everything basically goes sideways. So they take a railroad car and they put up they basically cut it in half. So there's like a room at one end and it's got bars. So it's like a cage at one end. So you can't get into one end from the other. And they put a bunch of dudes there with guns. And then at the other end of the railroad car, they have a tripwire. So they have the doors open. And so they sit there and they wait. They're hoping that the lion will come along and come in through the door and hit the tripwire. The door will shut and then, they'll shoot the lion. And this is a great quote from the movie here, where the beast will enter, tripping the wire, the door will slide behind him, trapping him. Meanwhile, safe behind your bars, we'll have the beast at your mercy and you will shoot him at your leisure. Are you running a fever? So that's clip 1. It's actually a quote from clip 1. And then in clip 2, you see what actually happens is the lion does in fact get trapped. Not only are they unable to shoot him, but he kills everybody in the train car and sets it on fire, and it basically burns down. The lion gets away scot-free, and it's all because a person underestimated the strength of a lion, and that's where the bear trap comes in. So the bear trap is not well documented because it's more about what you can't do rather than what you can do. The idea is that bears are really, really strong. They're so much stronger than human beings that you and I can't actually imagine how strong they are. And so therefore, we don't have the intellectual capacity to design a trap for a bear, because we will, in almost all likelihood, design a trap that the bear will get out of because the bear is so much stronger than we can imagine. And that's basically the anti-pattern is you're trying to solve a problem that you can't possibly solve, either with the information you have, the training you have, or what have you. And a good example would be, let's say you were a very junior programmer and you didn't know about non-polynomial time algorithms, and you were trying to solve the traveling salesman problem in polynomial time. So you might think of this algorithm or that algorithm or this greedy thing or this other thing or what have you. And no matter how many times you try to solve the traveling salesman problem, in polynomial time, you will fail, because the traveling salesman, of course, is non-polynomial hard, theoretically. And the only way to find a solution to the traveling salesman problem is to check every possibility. And for those of you who just haven't heard it, the traveling salesman problem is basically this. You take a bunch of cities, say pick 50 or 100 cities in the United States, and you've got a person, and there's a distance between the cities or a cost to travel between the cities. And basically the question is, okay, you want this person to visit every single city, right? And then return home is usually the part of the problem. But you want them to visit every single city exactly once, and you want them to take the path that's the cheapest through all 50 or 100 cities. And there's no way to find a solution. You have to check every possibility. And as you can imagine, with 50 or 100 cities, that's quite a few possibilities. And so if you don't know that, and you think that you've got some clever algorithm for solving the traveling salesman problem, you will fail. And you will keep failing until you understand what the problem is with the traveling salesman problem. And that's the bear trap, right? You're not going to trap the bear with the basic information you have as a human, right? You just don't have, the average human doesn't have enough experience with bears to understand that they're just so much stronger than you could have imagined. And so it's actually my favorite anti-pattern, because you actually do run into it from time to time. And it's not always to do with complexity. It has to do with, having a development team and a business team that are just too far apart in domain knowledge. And so you get these requests for software that does something using industry standard terms, but the development team doesn't understand the terms. And so they can't ever actually make the software that's asked of them, because nobody ever kind of sat down and defined all those terms and, provided necessary training for that. And it crops up in all kinds of areas. But it's probably the one I see most often, amusingly enough. So I hope you've enjoyed this little talk about anti-patterns. I definitely encourage you to read them. They're very funny. Even the anti-patterns catalog, which is a really old website, it's just got some hilarious quotes on it about anti-patterns, where people have seen them, what the solution to them is. Is it even an anti-pattern, or is it something else? And I think that anti-patterns are going away. I think there's a good chance there's only going to be a few left that anybody will recognize. And I think it's because of the tech stacks solving a lot of these problems for us, and we don't really need to worry about them. So that's my philosophical statement on it. Have a great rest of the contest.
Next up, we have our Algorithm Room 2 competition. So excited to see who comes out on top solving these really hard problems. So don't miss the live commentary, information on the problems, and watching the finalists live compete. Best of luck to everybody. Enjoy.
Well, hello everyone. Here we are with the second semifinals. Unfortunately, it seems like you were shown first semifinal participants in the run into this broadcast, but don't fret. We will let you know who participated today. With you today is me, Egor, and please introduce yourself.
Hi, jonathanirvings here. My name is Jonathan.
So my name is Pavel. I've participated in TCO 3 times. I'm not participating this year, so I'm helping with commentary.
Cool. So the contest started, and if you would see the leaderboard, already all the participants opened the first problem. So no surprises like yesterday. Yeah.
So basically, what's going on now? We have 3 problems. We will probably discuss the first problem soon as everyone's trying to solve it. And each participant opened it and have their timer ticking. So the longer it gets them to submit, the less points they will receive.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that because like the way that Topcoder contest, the timer, the score for each problem just decrements after you open each task. So it doesn't really matter if you open the problem late. And we see that Scott Wu and Neil Wu and Ethan Wall here, the commentators from the previous semifinals, actually opened the problems late. Yeah, they were actually discussing about doing this yesterday. And so that I think they were discussing for like you can gain advantage, more information when other people submit. If immediately after they submit, you still get more score than them. So yeah, it's interesting to see these various strategies. Even at the start of the contest, we're already seeing some various strategies here.
That's a funny idea.
Yes. What do you think, Pavel? I think this semifinal participants as a whole seems like at least they're much more renowned in the community than probably the first semifinal.
Well, I think yes, it's probably working like that. So the semifinals are separated to make some balance in terms of rating, while not all participants are participating much right now. I think AC Rush participated a long time ago, but now he's participating smaller, so his rating can be a bit different for that, and that makes some changes like that. So we can now see Tourist already writing a lot of code. So there is some dynamic programming approach for the first problem, which makes sense. We can discuss the first problem now, or we'll first take a look over.
Sure.
Yeah, or maybe while we're seeing the contestant screens and their profile there in the lower, we can introduce the finalists as well. So of course, I think this one needs no introduction. He's been TCO champion, algorithm champion for 4 times, and yeah, for the past 3 consecutive finals, he won it. So yeah, maybe he's one of the favorite for this year. Here we can see that he's and then next is Scott Wu. He's actually he's 7 TCO this year. TCO on sites. Well, this year it's not on site, but like TCO semifinals at least. He's what is he doing here? He's not seems no DP yet.
Yes, he's writing something. So now we have Peter. He participated in a lot of TCOs, even more than Gennady. And I'm not sure how about results. Maybe we can.
I think he won 4, but I'm not sure about tourist. I think he won like 3. Had he won? Because I think 4
I think they
is
both won 4.
algorithm and marathon combined. I'm not sure that tourist won 4 algorithms. I think he only won 2. But
No, he won
maybe.
4. He won 4 algorithms.
He won 2014,
Oh, okay, so that's cool.
19, 20, and 21st.
Oh yeah, well-known tourist tricks. But anyway, he also won
right now.
Yes, he also won he also won marathon 2 times. So
yeah, and in 2019 he won both algorithms and marathon in the same year, which is incredible.
Yeah, that's very tough
now
to do.
we see Neil Wu, who is already writing something. I'm not sure what exactly he is doing. Oh, he did not start writing code.
Yes,
Probably
currently
just checking how long field solution will work and if it's okay.
He's calculating
and probably will
complexity.
start writing it soon.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that this problem would be not that hard for this
the first problem
very tough field.
Very hard. But the other two are more interesting.
Listening, tourist compile something in Arena and testing, so maybe we'll have our submit about now if he's
also
satisfied with his.
Vladislav now. It seems that he's debugging his solution. Or at least he's.
Meanwhile, here we see Kankuro's screen. He's using a Kawigi edit. Is it like a plugin inside the Arena? Yeah, and Kankuro is 6 times.
Tourist has submitted solution, so we have our first submit here. Not really surprising that it was tourists.
So it actually was 7 minutes from contest start, I think.
The thing about
only 3 minutes.
So the thing about tourists and some other finalists that uses an editor not in the Arena is that they compile and test outside the Arena, right? So when they compile in the Arena and test in the Arena, they probably already got it correct for all the test cases locally. So for these people that go outside the Arena, once they compile and test, they're going to submit soon. Like,
I guess Andrew have some very big screen, because otherwise it would be unreadable.
It's hard to understand what's going on, but he seems to be writing solution.
Yes, I mean it seems. It's also dynamic.
Some kind of dynamic programming. So probably all participants got a basic idea of the problem, and maybe up to some details will submit kinda soon.
Yes, interesting layout, by the way.
Already see.
Oh, Piotr just submitted as well.
Okay.
So
yeah, here we see Anu 7 now.
But okay. Still wrote something, which again looks like he's like some kind of dynamic programming. Oh, okay. So probably we'll finish our trip through participants soon and can talk about the problem.
Yep.
By the way, we've seen different. Here's Siraj, yes, also like Star from a long time ago as well. Like I'm not sure he won TCO, but he for sure. I mean, algorithm. I think he only
won in 20. He won in 2010 actually. Asiras algorithm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And yeah, I think this is our last contestant. But just before this, we saw Ainu 7. He never won algorithm before, but he won a marathon match before in 2012. So yeah, all these people are very good. Like almost all of them, they won either algorithm or marathon before, or at least in the top 3. Yeah, so
and we can see Siraj submitting in right now.
Probably yes, but it's interesting that he do not use any like plugins to automatically add his code to Arena. He
That's fine.
like
but
he
I think
passed
actually
his
it's some
code
kind
by
of
hand.
plugin.
I'm not sure. The editor says that it's standard editor. And yes, we have submit from Siraj. So now we have gone through all the participant screen. Pavel, what do you think about like their layout? Some of them have code opened for the whole of the screen, while others have like current standings on the left, problem statement on the right. How do you do it yourself?
Well, I personally prefer to have the code for all the screen, but I don't like big screens, to be honest. I prefer to use just one laptop, and so you don't have much place for a lot of information. So,
okay, cool.
The one more interesting fact we can see that besides the fact that 3 participants already submitted, neither of them opened next problem. So they're trying to test their solution to make sure that it's correct. And if one of them found it's incorrect, then it would resubmit it, and this cost quite a lot of penalty. I don't remember
also interesting that Tur is still testing their 250. Meanwhile, Piotr has opened 500, and Ishiras also opening 500 now. But yeah, Tur is still testing.
So I think it's a good point to discuss easy problem. Can we go to the whiteboard, please? Egor, can you please tell about us about the problem?
So the problem is, oh sorry, if you draw, because I forgot to open the drawboard, the problem is pretty like easy in some sense. You have a chessboard, 8x8, like the usual one, and you have pawns in some of the cells of this board. And what you want to do is to have this board perfectly balanced, to have like the center of mass of the board in the center of the board itself. What you can do is add some pawns to the empty cells to make it balanced. Obviously, you can make it balanced by adding all the pawns, like pawns to all of the cells. That way it would be balanced. But your actual task is to find the minimal number of pawns you want to add to have the board perfectly balanced.
So we can probably check some sample from problem statement. I'm not sure if it would be easy to do it, but we can try. So, for example, let's check the second sample first, because it's an easy one to understand. So how can I switch the color? Okay, so here is a pawn here, here, and here. Currently we have so currently we have our board unbalanced because its center of mass is pushed up and right. But if we went one more pawn here, that it will become balanced. So basically, one of idea's possible solutions is to add not all points, but only some kind of symmetric set of points. But it seems it doesn't lead to minimal number in any way.
Yes, that's correct, because sometimes we just need to add, for example, one pawn and everything would be balanced. One thing to notice is that after the balanced board should have even number of pawns, but I don't think it's even.
By the way, I think actually solution that adding symmetric set of points is passing all sample tests.
Interesting, but I don't think any of these experienced competitors will fall for that. And as we've seen, all of them do some kind of dynamic programming. So
I think
yeah.
I didn't
Meanwhile,
understand what Andy was doing, but probably
yes,
they will handle it. So
Neil Wu
what's the correct
submitted easy as well. Meanwhile.
Yeah, we also see that Neil has submitted 250, and Torres finally opened 500.
So in terms of solution, the one that we came up with is you have dynamic programming, namely you have vertical balance and horizontal balance. For vertical balance, you assign a score for each row, starting from first row having score of -7, then -5, -3, -1, and so on, until +7 score for the top row. And note that if the sum of balances of all pounds is 0, then the center of mass lies on the center line. We do the same balance for the vertical, like for the columns, like Pavel writing now, and that's our two of these two numbers, and also the cell that we are reviewing at the moment is our dynamic state. We just go cells from top to bottom, from left to right, as usual, and what we calculate in our dynamics in the minimal number of pounds we need to add to achieve this state.
Yeah, so I think what we haven't mentioned is the pawns will be located like at the center of the cell. So that's why we number it 1, 3, 5, 7 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, because like at the cell nearest the center, the distance is actually 1 unit, where the next cell, the distance from the center is 3 units, not 2 units. So that's why we number it like this.
Yes,
because we need.
Sure.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Andrew also submitted his easy and have gone to the medium straight away, it seems.
And also,
while Neil still
everyone
testing.
except Scott already compiled something in Arena, so probably they will submit soon. So maybe we can check what Scott is doing, if he has some problems.
Sure. Vladislav is writing in Arena, so his compile is not necessarily means that he's ready to go.
Yeah.
So actually, then we can see what's going on with 500 problems, which is a bit more trickier. So we can now see what Scott is doing, and he's looking as he's still writing something. He has some kind of dynamic programming, actually, but I'm not sure what exactly.
It seems that CT is the cell and CX and CY is balances.
So probably he is mostly on correct way, but he wrote a lot of code, and it can lead to some problems sometimes. And you have no idea
not sure
what
why
is
he has so many code.
Oh, let's see. So maybe we can check what's the state of 500 people who started. So probably we'll start with Gennady, and then Piotr and AC Rush who are working on 500 for quite a long time. We can see if they already start to write something. 500 problem is quite funny, I think. I think the solution is really intuitive, but formal proof can be quite hard. So you need to need to come up with some trust in your intuition at some point.
Yeah, this is where this kind of problem is where seeing the scoreboard helps, right? So if you see like other people do it fast, your intuition might be correct, so that you can do it as well. And opening it late might also help, because
so as we see, Piotr has already wrote a lot of code, but it seems it doesn't working on sample tests, but probably he will come up with it soon.
I think he just ran it right away, because that's because that's also this plugin requires to have like after completion and stuff like that. It's not like he had some solution by that time.
Yes, but he already is writing something.
Yes, and I think it seems, at least based on what I see, it's the correct solution.
Yeah, we see the K-2 there. Yeah. Maybe we can go to the problem shortly.
He's removing.
I think his solution looks like a correct one. And Piotr is actually the longest working on 500. Hennady opened it much later. So
and we see Scott just submitted 250 as well.
Okay, that's good. So we have only 2 people still working on 250. I hope they will.
Lydia makes a very valid point in the chat that why would anyone trust intuition after yesterday?
Well, that's a complex question.
I think the order of this round is not accidental.
Yes, so we actually see that AC Rush wrote quite a lot of code already. I think he has some other approach, at least, but maybe I'm not sure what exactly he is doing. He's computing some heights in the tree, but
and have some DFS.
So we see that so AC Rush opened the problem how long time ago? I'm not sure where to check it. He solved the first one 10 minutes after the contest start. So he working like 5 or a bit more than 5 minutes on this problem, and he already writing something, which probably means that this problem is not too hard.
Yeah, he opened 10 minutes ago, AC Rush, 500.
I think 12, a bit less
more like 12 minutes ago.
So
because he opened right after he submitted.
That as Piotr would submit the solution, everyone would know some estimation of problem hardness, which can be not true, because there can be some details with wrong solutions or something. But this is something. Oh, so he already submitted. It's It's 444 points, which is quite a lot.
Meanwhile, here Neil still not coding or not even calculating something, so I think he's just scribbling on paper right now for the 500.
Yes, so he did wrote something. I think that's some plugin generated code.
Also, meanwhile, Aino submitted easy as well, so we're only waiting on Conqueror.
Yes, I hope he will handle it soon. But Scott Wu and Aina didn't open 500 yet.
That's true, they're still testing.
So
because you want to make sure, want to cover your bases.
He will submit soon. At least plugin said that he passed sample tests, so he's doing some kind of manual testing now, and probably will submit soon. Okay, probably he has some connection problems. It looks quite. So actually, 250 is not a hard problem for them. It should work.
To be honest, I think
so maybe we can, as everyone now is working on 500, we should discuss it. So we can see. Yeah, actually, he submitted. So everyone submitted 250 now, and Piotr already submitted 500. 5 people opened 500, and 2 are still testing the last one, the first one.
And yes, he also opened it right away for 500. The question is how many people will trust that Piotr proved something, or at least very sure in his solution, because I guess for these people they would understand what is the solution that you can write this fast likely is.
Yes, probably, but after that the question is is it enough to trust Piotr and go after him, or he will fail these tests and you need to be better? Because if everyone fails this test, it's okay, but not for those who was slow on the first one.
By the way, everyone finally opened 500.
Yes.
Yeah, and this
So
time
maybe
actually Piotr still testing 500, where when previously when he submitted 250, he opened 500 straight away. But this time he takes some time to test his
writing
500.
some kind of stress testing, which makes sure that his solution is correct. For those who don't know, stress testing is when you implement some too slow but provably easy and provable solution. For example, like full backtracking on all possible solutions to choose minimal among them, and just generate a lot of random tests and compare your solution and the correct one. Yeah. So probably Piotr is doing this right now, because if his 500 is correct, he has very good chances, because 1000 problems are often complex, and probably
Maybe we can see the Piotr screen right now. See how he's testing.
We will do it soon, and then we probably should discuss 500 problems as everyone working on it.
Sure.
Exactly. Sure.
It seems Piotr just like chilling at the moment.
He's just checking the problem statement.
Not moving much. I guess he's working on a paper right now.
Maybe he's trying to come up with interesting tests. So actually, one of possible strategies here is to write the solution you had very fast and then try to prove it.
That's correct. Also, apparently Neil said out loud, is he that fast? About Piotr. Will you present, please, Pavel?
So I hope we could switch to the second page soon. Or I can just clear up this one. That's okay. That would be okay too. Let me figure out how to do that.
Control A, delete.
I have no ideas. I'll just cancel it.
By the way, both Andrew and I know, and Andrew submitted it's even faster than Piotr.
Yes, so
but both Andrew and Dino compiled.
Very fast. So actually the solution size is quite small, as we see. But the problem is there some details which you need to handle? Probably can be a bit tricky. And I think
it's also not open 1000 yet.
Okay. So
I think this is the problem that
because probably fast 2 problems should be enough for passing. So the important part is to check it. So
and especially with 500, it's the problem that you need some careful testing. So it makes sense if they take their time carefully before opening the new one.
Basically, you're given a tree, like I don't know, some kind of tree, and an integer k, and you're allowed to put a token in each vertex or not put a token in each vertex, and you want to put as much tokens as you can but you have a restriction. No simple pass in a tree can have more than k tokens. So for example, if you have k equal to 1, then you can only put one vertex anywhere, because otherwise the simple pass between that 2 vertices will have 2 tokens and you're allowed only to have 1. On the other side, if k is equal to 2, then you can put a token in all leaves, and then any path would contain either 0 tokens if it doesn't contain any leaf, or 2 tokens if it contains both leaves, or only 1 if it contains 1 leaf and 1 non-leaf. And it's agreed that it's an optimal solution, and you actually cannot do better if k is equal to 2. But basically that's the optimal in all cases. So if k is greater than 2, then you can just remove all leaves by putting a token in all of them, and just get to the smaller problem. But proving this is tricky. So that's quite intuitive approach for me. Like, I was trying to think of something on that way, but formal proof is not obvious. Like, probably there can be some ideas, so it's like, if we have a token and doesn't have a token in its child, we need to push it, but our tree is not rooted, so this child-parent relation is hard here. So being accurate is hard. Also, there is a trick that sample cases does not contain any odd k, I think.
Other than 1, I think.
Well, any non-trivial cases with odd k. So basically, it's easy to be incorrect here. For example, if you get all vertices, you can occasionally add +1, which I actually cannot do, or something like that.
Actually, yes. The only odd k we have is actually 7, while the number of vertices is 8. So there obviously we can put tokens on all vertices. But it at least checks one of the possible problems when you just like always remove dynamic vertices from a graph, and then at the end add 1 if k is odd. But what if there is no more vertices in the graph? We can't add 1 that way. So
the question here is to maximize the number of tokens, and we only return the number of tokens here. We don't need to construct the solution. So
yes, we need to put as many tokens as we can.
Seems like Piotr is sure about himself because he switched to the hard problem.
Well, hard problem is, I'm not sure it will be solved, to be honest.
Unless it is already somewhere on the internet.
We can move, well, all problems are well known now, but so Gennady did not start writing something yet. That's really interesting. Oh no, he actually did wrote something, just that's strange. I don't understand what he's doing.
Is this tourist screen?
That doesn't look like tourist screen. It's probably AC Rush screen. Yeah. I think he was the only one who was using Visual Studio. Oh, I think it's AC Rush. Yes.
But yeah, we can see AC Rush started coding something.
He's coding. He has a lot of
some
code.
DFS. Yeah.
Like, we saw the solution which looks correct from Andrew. It was like 1 screen long. And this one is much longer, so maybe it has some problems.
I mean, his screen
on the
is
other
much
hand,
bigger.
Yes. 1 screen of Andrew is like 10 screens of AC Rush, probably. Or something like that.
Yes, probably.
Oh, Andrew finally opened 1000 as well. I was about to say, let's see how Andrew is testing his code, if we can see his code, but now he opened 1000 as well. Okay, so yeah, he's...
Well, seeing his code is too tricky.
Now he started on 1000 as well. So probably he's confident with his 500 now.
Well, I think 1000 should have not too long solution, but it's some kind of combinatorics problem, which can be always tricky to come up with. Like, it should have some... Okay, I think we'll talk a bit about it a bit later.
Meanwhile, this is I know 7. We see that he compiled 500, but yeah, I think he's using he's just typing in the arena. So compiling doesn't mean like might be his first testing, and
But he's
he might
actually
still not pass the
staring at
samples.
code, so probably he had some bugs and tried to come up what's wrong with it.
By the way, Paul, you said that probably no one will solve hard problem. I bet that tourist will, because one of the solutions is his bread and butter for such problems.
I'm not sure. So it's some kind of tricky problem, combinatorics problem. There are people who are good with it. So Piotr is quite good with some such kind of problems. Tourist is quite good with all problems. So we'll see.
Yes, because with combinatoric problems, one of the tricks is suppose you have like some big N and small K. Sorry.
Yeah, Kankuro submitted 500 and now jumps to the third place because his 250 is not very good.
He was very fast on
Everyone
his
is faster
solution.
than Piotr.
Faster than Piotr, but he's have quite slow 250, which will not help him.
Yes, that's true.
So actually the problem is if there would be wrong solution of 500, it's possibility for challenges. Because if some tests are lost, then some tricky cases. So there probably will be someone who tries to find it. And even if, for example, Piotr and Tourist will solve 1000, that's 2 top places, but there are 2 more spots, and challenges are very important in this case. Because probably difference would be not too much. So we can see what Vladislav is doing. He looks like he's reading his code on 500 and just testing more on some manual cases. I think that's a good problem to actually write a stress test, because it's really important to have it passed, because probably you have no chances if you fail 500. While if you found some bugs in your code, you will be able to do a lot of challenges. So submitting and then stress testing looks a good strategy for me.
Yeah, we saw some K subtract by 2 there, and yeah, probably it's the idea looks correct.
K subtract by 2 is a good sign for this problem.
Yeah.
Also, K equals to 1 and R is less than N, R plus plus is also seems like a right thing to do.
Yep.
But the details can be a bit tricky. So we have 4 people still thinking about the problems. I'm not sure what Tourist is doing. It's a bit strange for me. Maybe. So did he decide to test first and then submit?
We'll see it soon, I guess.
Yeah, I think the last time we saw the scoreboard.
He actually wrote some code and it does not works on samples.
It seems like it returns 0 always.
Yes.
The last time we saw the scoreboard, the score is
we'll
already
see some submissions soon, and he just have some bugs.
A lot of solution, I would say.
There's a lot of code here. Not sure what he's trying to do. Okay.
Some suffixes, some prefixes, interesting. Maybe he's trying. Yes, that's true. That's very strange.
No. Maybe he's trying to solve problem for old case because he had got some solution from old problem or something. That looks a bit strange for me. Okay, so no idea what's going on. So what we can see here. So we see an interesting stuff here. Like Anu decided to switch to 1000. He just didn't understand what to do with 500, or maybe he decided that okay, I have a very bad time of 250, so I need to switch to 1000 because solving 500 doesn't help me.
Okay, Therese submitted after all, so it seems like maybe he have a very, very complex solutions that eventually gets him to the same place, and maybe not.
That's an interesting one because I think for now, well, no one else would overcome him if solve 500, I think, because of good time of 250. So
yes,
Neil,
that's correct.
I'm not sure about Neil.
Oh, Ainu can, but Ainu is called can, but they like Ainu already switched to a hard, and Scott beats his time.
Yeah, and interestingly, Ainu has compiled his 500, so he might already have some code, but then realize that maybe the whole algorithm is wrong. Like he didn't pass the sample case, and then maybe after try to understand why he didn't pass the sample case, maybe he realized that his algorithm is wrong, and then decided to move to another task.
I think the reason he compiled actually is because he's writing in Arena, and you can just click compile sometime.
By the way, you can see that Piotr started to wrote some solution. I'm not sure if it's some good enough solution. Maybe he's just trying to implement something to look on answers and get some more intuition, or at least get a stupid solution which he will be able to stress after.
Well, we'll see, I guess. But at least he now calculates something before he go to the queries. That's a good sign.
Well, let's see. I'm not sure. So Piotr is quite good at solving combinatorial problems. So Ainu is now just staring at statement of 1000, I think.
Yes, it's 1000. Maybe we can discuss the problem itself now.
Yes. Can you please start?
Sure.
When we will see.
So the problem is actually pretty simple to understand statement. You have a permutation, and the permutation is called wild if for any position like with P0, P1, so on, if in any position difference between the value and the position, the absolute value of this difference is more than a given number k. And we have the same k for the whole test, but the size of the permutation n itself, that's another thing. We have several queries up to 50, I think, for n, and n can be up to 1 billion, if I recall correctly. While the k, which is actually it's more than k, not less than I recall. It's after all wild.
Why it's even more than 2k, not just k. No idea why.
N minus k.
Oh,
okay. It's n minus k, not k or 2k. It's n minus k. Yes. The question is how many wild permutations there is. And it seems like the most direct solutions that can be solved, like as usual, you can forget about the actual problem. Because for given k, answer for given n divided by n minus 2k factorial is a polynomial of the degree k. And then we can just and then we can just like have the first k plus 1 values and interpolate it, and that's what tourist will do.
Yes,
If he
but I
switches
have
to
no idea
1000.
why it's true. So it's some factorial multiplied by polynomial, but why?
And that's usually it's how it is. It's like it's almost all such problems have
really.
this property.
But why multiplied by factorial? Multiplied by which factorial? How to come
That
up
you
with
need
it?
to come up with.
Oh,
Well,
I
it's
think there's
multiplied by
some
factorial
dynamic
because it's
programming
permutation
solution.
after all. Also notice that why it's n minus 2k factorial. It's because like we only care really about first k positions and last k positions, because for all other positions the difference obviously not more than n minus k.
Okay, that makes some sense.
And
But
so
we'll see
you
what's
can
happening.
permutate all those numbers however you like.
But to make this solution, you still need to compute the answer somehow for quite a long line. Like k can be to 250.
Yes, but like if you have small n, there is I think some dynamic solution that you can do.
Yes, but n is not too small because you need like find k terms.
K plus 1,
So
k plus
need,
1, yes.
Something like k terms. So probably you need to be able to solve for around 10 n equal to 1000.
You mean
10,000? I mean.
We need for 5,000 is enough.
Not too.
Maybe, but anyway, subquadratic solution should pass. Tourist finally opened hard. I wonder what AC Rush is doing now.
He's probably trying to finish 500. We can see what he's doing.
I mean,
it's not helpful much for him, probably. So he needs to switch. But, well, he might try to see that if he can't come up with solutions, that at least one of these 4 solutions above him can be wrong.
Yeah, if this result stands and all passes system test, like the cutoff is just nice. Like you need 2 problems to qualify. Just like the first semi-final, like the cutoff is just nice between two problem versus 1 problem. Oh, now we see Isira screen still trying to.
Yes, a lot of things.
He's trying to test his solution somehow.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, like
randomization.
I think he's writing some tests. So actually, it seems his solution is working, and he's just trying to run it on some random tests.
Like that.
So probably he will submit soon, but it will not help him to pass until one of the 4 solutions above him is wrong. But he will have like 30 minutes for last problem, which doesn't seem to be impossible, but would be hard.
What? Is this some kind of hash of returns? What?
What is that? 3137.
Maybe he's testing time and just trying to avoid compiler optimize out or something.
I think he just want to test it, like make some changes and see if it fails.
Maybe.
Changes.
This is Neil, also on 500.
Yes, and what's he doing?
Doing
now?
Some DP.
That does not seem to be a correct solution. he trying to do some kind of dynamics with memorizing stuff.
Who cannot compile?
I have no
I
idea
hope
what
this is
he's
not
doing,
some
but
problem with server.
that seems to be a bad solution. So, but probably if he send it, it can be some untrivial material for challenges, because coming up with time limit challenge is not trivial. Oh, so we have someone else submitted.
Oh,
I think
Piotr
Scott
compiled 1,000.
Wilson had submitted 500.
And yeah, Scott submitted
Yes.
Scott submitted 500. Meanwhile, Ainu compiled 1,000. Okay.
So he need at least one challenge to overcome Gennady if no one of 500 tools fails. So he probably will try to solve. Oh no, he's still trying to check 500.
Yes, but he just submitted. It's natural to make sure that you haven't had some obvious bug or something like that. I wonder if it's an interesting situation, by the way, when you are like less than a challenge away from the first place. The question is easy challengeable, because if one of the mediums fails, you already would be in. You don't need to challenge it.
Yes, but the problem is if there would be a sixth place person who will have not too much smaller points, then maybe you need to overcome him.
Yes, that's correct. That's like going one level deeper.
Going on with Piotr, he seems to have some kind of crash with his solution and trying to figure out what's going on.
He interrupted it, so it was just like.
Oh, maybe just
once again, he probably
solution.
just ran it to have after completion. I used to use this plugin and this setup, and I know how it works.
Okay, I'm not sure why he had compiled in Arena. That's a bit strange.
Maybe there is, like, as we know, Topcoder used
But
not
maybe
the
to
last.
test some performance stuff or something. But he's still
or
writing.
maybe he just want to make sure that he used probably something from a Topcoder library or something like that, and he want to make sure that it would compile the C++ version that is used in the Arena.
Okay, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So let's see. It would be nice if Piotr would solve the hard one. And we see that Andrew is
also working on something.
Too.
Oh, Neil submitted 500 as well. So we have 6 contestants submitted 500. We might see every contestant submit 500 here because there's still 30 minutes left.
And Nick is one challenge away from Scott. So if there would be some challenge phase and Scott can just assume that, okay, some 500 will fail, and that's all. He needs to be aware of Nick challenging someone.
Last year, I think one of them, like in the semifinals, one of them got qualified, one of the Wu brothers, and the other wasn't, and it was also something like by a challenge or something. So, are we here to see repeat this year again?
Maybe not a repeat by a revanche. Do you remember which one was?
Like if Neil would challenge, it would be repeat, because I think Neil qualified last year and Scott hadn't. But my memory can play tricks with me.
So let's check what AC Rush is doing.
No, let's see
Nadi wrote some stupid solution and just staring
Guess
at a
what?
lot of numbers.
Guess what?
Like trying to generate
probably will
like
write OAEs, yes.
Yeah.
Let's you always should check. But no, it's actually found something, but
isn't it just like not just something, but exactly what it is?
But that's
Okay,
only for a
that's
single value of k,
an
right? Like,
interesting one. So OAIS is
but it's
actually
triangle.
some online encyclopedia of integer sequences. It has a lot of integer sequences. So you can
Who would have
get
thought?
some information about the sequence you found by some values of it, and then it's sometimes helpful and sometimes not. So that can be a totally misleading path. And mostly authors know about this way and trying to check that the information here is not too helpful. But let's see what's
Here
happening.
we have AC Rush. I think I just understand what he wanted to do with the hash, because you don't want to store like answers for all the tests that was generated by your like stupid solution. If you can just store the hash of that answers, and then you can check, calculate the same hash and just check if it's the same. It's
That's
pretty
a good way
smart.
to do that. But so probably he has some time limits problems and need to optimize solution without breaking it. But why one can have time limit problems in that problem?
I mean, if you don't believe in that like easy solution or something like that, you can come up with something much more complex. I think I even did it before, like somewhat disproving it. Oh, I see everyone is using these these days.
Oh, that's a well-known stuff.
so this is Ainu.
But
He's
the question is it helpful? So do you see the number of sequence? Let me check.
I think it's 100, 130, 152. And it seems very, very like, considering it's a triangle, it seems very...
Now he's reading some paper. Interesting.
Yes, it's that one. You see it correct. I don't see anything immediately helpful in the description.
Well, I know certainly had, because he opened some kind of article out of it.
Yes, but let's see.
Yeah, you can see the tabs, like half of his tabs is always.
Well, that's an interesting one. So what Andrew is doing?
Andrew is typing something.
And we actually have no chances to see what he is typing.
I mean, I see a bit because I have a 4K monitor, but it's still very hard to understand, because like you need to estimate some of the letters. What are they actually?
Okay, but he's
There's
writing
some kind of dynamic programming there. That's all I can say.
So Piotr is only one who is who close right now, but other have some time.
Yes, because in the Andrew solution, I see to raise DP and DP2. So I guess it's dynamic programming.
No, it's hard to write something else in this problem.
Here, Kankuro is also coding something for 1000. Also looks like a DP, like a bug.
It seems like a DP that he will then put results of this DP into OEs, and we'll see.
By the way, what do you think Scott is doing now? He still did not open the last problem.
I don't know. Maybe he's crafting challenges. Maybe he found a bug. I don't really know, because as we've seen, Scott had some unorthodox solution for this problem, not like small one. Basically, I think 3 people have this very fast, very small solution.
Something. So he's testing his 500.
Maybe we'll see
So
the
did he
submits
change something?
because
Maybe he will resubmit
he's
soon.
testing on samples.
Yes, so probably he changed something. So maybe he found some bug and will resubmit soon. And then it becomes interesting because everyone else would know, like, okay, Scott found something untrivial in the problem.
On the other hand, they would know that his initial solution probably is not the same fast solution because he has relatively low score on this problem.
Yeah, he's testing on large test cases now. Like he changed n to 500,000, so he's probably testing whether his solution is fast enough.
Oh, it works
like-
instantly, so probably that's not the issue. We can see the running time.
Why he won't use batch testing?
Language.
Yep, he
Okay,
resubmitted.
it's a resubmit. And we have actually submit on the hard one from Andrew here.
From Andrew. Wow, he
Yes.
has a really small solution.
I mean, if, like, I think the solution is relatively small.
I'm not sure, but that's interesting.
Yeah, and now Scott opens
So also
1,000.
Scott, after he submit, opened the solution.
So he's quite confident
So
now,
we
I
have
guess.
some discussion in chat right now with people talking that in C++ you have to be accurate with what data types you're using, especially in math problems, because all this because all stuff with integer overflows and stuff like that. But if you use Python, it can become better. Originally, it was suggested to use Perl. I think Perl is not supported by Topcoder at any point, but okay. So
But I believe
what do you think?
like
Is it useful to use Python for problems like 1000?
yeah, I believe like we saw Piotr as well, like using modular in like there's some M in code I saw earlier. Like I believe that's a modular in library that Atcoder has it, and I believe some experts write their own as well. So once you have that and you put in your mod properly, you don't really need to care about overflows, right? Like that library already handles if you try to multiply two mod ins, you make sure to cast one of them to long first so that you don't get overflows intermediary. So yeah, I don't think that's really an issue that they need to be afraid of there, because they've been using their library that always been tested as well. So
Apparently, Atcoder modular in doesn't have unary plus. Oh no, unary minus. Interesting.
That happens.
Yeah, I think actually like I don't really understand people who don't use any kind of library, because you can kind of lean on knowing that there is no bugs there. At least you hope so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of
even
course,
if you like coded algorithm 500 times, you can always have some kind of weird typos that like
here we also see Tourist have M
in
in as
Tourist
well.
now he's writing some code since he didn't wrote much already.
Yeah, and just now I saw like Piotr's code. He has like .inv, which I assume it's inverse, and yeah, with modular inverse, it's you have to do fast exponentiation, which is slightly longer and can cause bugs. So yeah, of course, like you just it's better to just copy paste your modular in library instead of like writing fast exponentiation again.
is it some kind of just multiplication of two polynomials?
Well, maybe it is. At least
I mean the middle part of his solution
looks like some kind of multiplication of polynomials.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like kind of three loops. Andrew's solution looks like that too.
And now we
So
will
maybe
just
that's what
calculate
will happen.
polynomial, I guess.
I have no ideas what are that polynomial. But well, how much time does tourist have to overcome Andrew? I think he shouldn't have much because he has very slow 500. I think we need scoreboard to check it.
He needs 730 points at least. 730 points.
700 points is a lot.
Yes.
So
he's still in that area, but not by long.
Probably he have only a couple of minutes to finish within it.
And yeah, with Scott 500, because he resubmits, so resubmits. When you resubmit, you of course take the time of your second submission, but on top of that, there's also a penalty, like 10% penalty, right? So it's not just the time it takes for you for the second submission, but on top of that, there's also additional penalty. So yeah, that's why resubmission is bad. But of course, if you know there's a bug in your code, then you better resubmit instead of like having it failed completely, right? Like having it 0 points completely. But yeah, like usually that's why some people usually they don't submit immediately. They do some testing first, because if you submit and then you do testing and then you submit again, there's a penalty. So yeah, that's how the scoreboard works.
So Esiraj has at least 4 copies of his 500. Interesting.
Wow. I'm not sure what is his plan. Probably he just wants to solve the problem right now. We're asked in chat while tourists need to overcome Andrew. Probably he does not need it because
I mean, rating is on the line.
This round, the only one matters if you are in top 4. But anyway, like for example, for rating issues, it's important, which is probably not so important to pass into finals, but still.
Yeah, what about you guys? I've never been to the semifinals before, but when you are in the semifinals, like, do you care about rating, or you just make sure you're like, if you are in the boundary, like, do you try your hard to get into top 4, but risking your rating if your challenge goes wrong, or like you don't care about rating?
Probably you shouldn't think about your rating at that point. But
I never cared about rating in this round, but obviously, like, if you're in top 4, you have a much higher chance to have better rating. Interesting. Some submission on code forces by Andrew on some other problems. Let me see which is one. 1755D.
Oh.
What?
So Andrew is submitting something on code forces now?
No. I'm not sure it is now. It is from
probably
7th of November. So it's like less than 2 weeks ago. Ha.
But why 7th of November? The only submissions from Andrew on 7th of November are from Kotlin Challenge on Finals.
Yes, it's in Kotlin.
Yeah, it's in Kotlin.
You see, the language is Kotlin.
But why he is looking at it now?
I don't remember problems that I don't think I read problems that were here. Was there some kind of combinatorial problem?
Not really.
Maybe
That's really strange.
Maybe he copied some kind of code that he needs from the submissions. I don't know. Or maybe he just like keep it open. That's like some kind of lucky charm. I'm not sure.
Well, that's really strange.
I wonder what Aino is doing. Is he still trying to solve hard? Is he back to the medium?
Yeah, let's see. I guess the last time we are here, we are seeing a lot of OS, and I think he's still trying to find some articles.
Reading some articles about generating functions. Probably someone referred.
Actually, with limited displacement, and what we have here is exactly limited displacement. I mean, the wild permutations are obviously one without, like with big displacement, but if we can always calculate number of permutations that actually have that inequality reversed.
And I think
and for
actual
all
solution should do
partitions.
exactly that.
Yes, and that's actually exactly permutations with limited displacement.
So probably he is reading some article about this kind of permutation, which can be helpful, but he have only 15 minutes. That's not too much to read and understand articles.
Petro just sitting there. Interesting.
Well, he's trying
What's he
to
thinking?
come up with something.
His test case passed.
I'm not sure that it's not ran for the previous task or something.
No, I think
actually,
the run for this task, for sure.
Probably Piotr has already losing Andrew. Even if he submitted quite above everyone else, so probably he's just trying to be sure that his solution is correct because time doesn't matter much for him right now.
Yes, I think he like just want to make sure.
Yeah, he changed the last test case to his own test case. It seems like he's modifying the test cases.
He added some test case and just added an answer for it to be sure that it's not changed in future.
I think we have a submit now future here.
He is testing something. He being safe.
I guess that's more to have this time limits. Okay, here we have concurrence screen.
What does he have? Just staring at a lot of different numbers. That happens a lot when you're working on combinatorial problems.
Yes. Probably. I think he have some solutions that require that much memory, like k-squared memory. Probably wouldn't pass because
k-squared memory is not too bad. Like 2,500. It's acceptable.
60 something, right?
That's not too bad.
Yes, but for example, you can barely fit that machines. And he multiplied it by something additional, so Petro compiled his solution in the he already compiled his solution in the arena a long time ago. Yes.
Well, he's actually writing in arena, so he's not.
Petro is not. No, I'm talking about Petro. Sorry.
Petro. Yeah. I thought you told about Vladislav. So we have around 10 minutes to go now, even 7 minutes.
AC Rush is doing some testing in the arena, so I guess we have submit in our future, or not. Oh, I guess the testing wasn't successful.
I have no idea what he's doing.
Piotr is compiling in the arena again and batch testing. So I guess we can go there.
So Piotr will submit soon. Probably we can try to have a look on it.
Oh, we have additional fault that the AC Rush screen was actually frozen. It's not what he's doing at the moment. It was just. And Tourist is compiling hard problem. Interesting. Everyone is compiling hard problem.
Kankuro is compiling.
Yeah, discussion on chat about CMake on Piotr's code. Like that's because of using CLine, which use CMake as project model. So actually, nothing from CMake is really used. It's just somewhere inside.
Tourist has some. That's not true. Something of CMake is used in this plugin, but Tourist submitted his hard problem.
Yes, and it's not a bad score. So, well, actually, Tourist is more than one challenge from Andrew. So it would be hard to overcome him if all submissions are correct.
That's a big if, I would have to say.
Well, I mean, the all enter submission is correct.
You're only 10 minutes.
Even
from the end of
that
the
is a big
contest.
if, but we'll see.
Yes, but that's quite a possible if. So the question is, will Piotr submit soon? But probably it doesn't help him at all. He will stay third.
Piotr still testing. It's in the arena. Tourist, by the way, doing the same.
With a big gap both. Well, everyone should test now because 5 minutes.
10 minutes, I think.
Yeah, the coding phase is
You
85 minutes.
Get used to SRMs that like start at 5 minutes but last 10 minutes, but they are 10 minutes shorter. And this one starts at straight hour and ends in 25 minutes. Time past hour.
So we have 10 more minutes.
Yes, so still a lot of time to code a small operating system, as Pavel Mavrin says.
We can check what Scott and Neil are doing. They opened 1,000 quite not much time ago, but they then can get a lot of points if they solve it fast. And Scott is quite good at math, as I remember, so maybe he will do it very fast. But actually, it looks like he is just doing something on paper.
Yes. Piotr have like a few seconds yet to submit 1,000 and be within one challenge of tourist.
Oh, that's an interesting. So did he submit it?
No, not yet.
Or
he's compiling again.
So
I guess
Neil
he made some kind of
wrote some code. Oh, he's looking at his 500. So Neil probably not working on the last one, and just testing his previous his two already solved problems. Yeah. Which can be.
But I have to say that he's quite a long way from the fourth place. So one challenge or even two challenges wouldn't be enough. He needs someone. And Petr submitted, by the way. And he's a little bit late. He's just a little bit late, and he's 54 points behind tourist. So one challenge wouldn't be enough. But anyway, Neil probably needs someone in the top 3 to get 2 problems wrong, or Conqueror to get one of his problems wrong. At least it looks like that at the moment.
We'll see. The second problem has both first and second problem has not very good sample test data, so that can lead to failed system tests.
Yeah, I'm seeing in Arena Egor Andrew is actually testing 250 again. So yeah, he's probably not so confident with that as well.
I mean, probably like you have this 5 minutes. What would you do? Would you just like chill out, or would you do something?
Andrew decided to read some random code forces problems.
No, it seems related, like a tree, maybe.
I think
something that.
Isn't it this very same problem?
I've got what's happening. There really was a problem about removing some leaves from the tree on the Kotlin round he solved. It's not the same, but that's funny.
Pity he can't use his code because Topcoder doesn't support Kotlin.
So it's for 500, not for 1,000.
Yes, for 500.
Yes, that's funny. I'm not sure if it's helpful. For such kind of problems, it's sometimes easier to write solution from scratch than to rewrite something.
Okay, but his arena and his editor is now on 250.
Do you understand what kind of editor does Andrew use?
I think it's a Vim.
Oh, I see. Probably some plugins for running stuff.
Yes.
Interesting color scheme, like yellowish background.
Why not? So tourist is actually seems to be thinking on paper on some corner cases maybe,
or just cheating, you know,
or just guessing. Because probably if all his three problems are correct, he's safe.
Well, I
And
guess
if
he's
not,
also
he has
pretty.
problems anyway.
Well, if only his heart fails, I think he will be still over nil by a lot of points, actually. By most of the challenge.
Probably
so
he's
actually
more or
have
less
like
safe.
two safe attempts to finish even.
So this is Scott
So
preparing
Scott,
test. So it seems like
Scott looks like he's preparing some tricky test cases for 250.
Well, I guess the ones at lines 5, 7, and 9 not very tricky.
it's exactly the same test cases.
Yeah, I think it's just a way to prepare tests. Well, he's looking at something.
Is his
Testing his own
solution
solution.
fails on this? What? Why there is no out? Oh,
It's a
wait.
custom input, right?
Yeah, okay. There is a return value.
Yeah, there is a return
I thought
value.
return value
It's just
is an int.
printed.
But apparently
No.
return value is a board.
AC Rush submitted 500 finally.
Okay.
And he's even over Scott because his easy problem is much faster. Will happen. Hard.
So he won't probably bother. Yeah, he won't probably bother opening hard, right? Like there's no point opening hard. And
I mean, you can read it and then you can spend intermission to craft some tests, I guess.
So in chat, we now have a lot of discussion of what should be next programming language to be supported in Arena.
My vote is for Rust, obviously.
Yes, that's one of the candidates.
But Kotlin would be like...
We have
I want to see both Rust, Kotlin. I just think Rust is modern C++ and Kotlin is modern Java, so... Why not?
No, there's a question for me.
What is your language choice?
Yeah, no, I always use C++, so I don't really have a strong feature request for Topcoder because it just works for me. I just use C++.
Have you thought about Rust?
I heard a lot about it, but I haven't really learned it.
I recommend.
So we can see Vladislav trying to fix something in his 1000, I think, but probably it should not.
1 minute to go.
Work.
I mean, let's root for him.
He has
like it's always.
Yeah, it's always funnier
cool
when
when
you
you
have more solutions.
Always
It's
cool
always
when you
funny
submit
than when you
something
submit
last minute
last
that
second. Unfortunately, you can't challenge.
Yes, ACRH actually opened hard problem. Maybe for the reasons I described.
Just to read the problem to be able to challenge looks to be a good idea.
Okay, so yeah.
So we have only 20 seconds to do. Probably, I don't expect any more submissions.
Neil is 3 challenges behind, so he needs 3 challenges. That's tough.
And that's it.
Okay, so So what's happening now? We have a timer in a bit strange place, but okay. So participants already submitted what they did submitted, and no more submissions will happen. But participants, after a small intermission, can try to challenge each other. What does it mean? That it means that they can find a bug in other solution and say that, okay, here is a test, and this solution would not work on this test. Then judge check it, and if it's true that the submission doesn't work on the test, then participants receive that the participants who challenged receive 50 more points, and the test added to system tests, so the solution which was challenged is challenged, and it receives 0 points. On the other side, if it's not true and solution passes the test, the one who was challenging receives minus 25 points. So we can try to check who is interested in challenges now. Like, first of all, it's Nilvu. He requires 3 challenges to overcome blood, which does not seem to be possible, but still an option for him.
Yeah, we know that Scott resubmitted 500, so he might have some tricky test cases.
Yes.
But yeah, he's a bit far from qualifying.
So actually, if Vladislav 500, for example, will occur wrong, then there is a competition for the 4th place between Neil and AC Rush. And AC Rush needs 2 challenges,
Scott.
But he's good in challenging. So if, for example, AC Rush will challenge Kankuror, then searching for one more challenge would be an interesting one. Also, actually, if Vladislav's first 250 is wrong, then he needs only one challenge to overcome Neil. So probably these 3 participants are most interested in challenges.
And Scott as well, actually. Like Scott and Ishiras has the same situation.
Yes.
If Scott challenges Kankuro's 500, he will only need one more.
4 challenges to Kankuro, not 3. Oh, actually both of them need 4.
Right, but if Scott challenges Kankuro's 500, then he only need one more to go above Neil.
So,
by the way, do you know that initially, like in the early years of Topcoder, it was plus 100 for the successful challenge and minus 100 for unsuccessful one?
Sorry? Oh, so
challenges were much more like costly and risky to make. What do you think, by the way? Which problems are the most challengeable? Which problem is the most challengeable?
It's an interesting question. Like 500 is easy, but some people have really a lot of code in their solution which can have some bugs. I'm not sure. So probably 500 is the most obvious candidate because, well, okay, some kind of combinatorics problem, they either work or don't work. So the only you can challenge here is time limit. So probably for 1000 is not the case.
Some kind of overflow, maybe.
Yes, but probably you would receive random results on samples in that case. So I don't think we'll see any challenges on 1000. While on 500 it's possible, of 250 it's possible too, because especially if someone wrote something strange, not just a dynamic programming solution. So I think there can be some case working, and it probably can be wrong.
Well,
do you think someone will do the indexing wrongly in 250, like just 1, 2, 3, 4? Maybe not.
Well, I don't know, but actually it has very weak sample test data.
Right, yeah.
So we are now seeing
So
how
Scott
it
is
works.
ready and
Scott
he goes
opened
for
some
500.
solution. I'm not sure which one was it.
It's
It's
Kankura
some
500.
500 solution, and he liked it. He's checking other 500s.
Okay, it's
and
challenging.
he's looking. He does not like.
He's challenging with maximum case, Scott,
He's
and he's
challenging,
successful.
and
Oh,
he's successful. And
Scott challenges his own brother.
was new.
There's
Brother
there's
warfare.
Yeah, brother war there. Woo war.
Yes, that's funny one, but not help them much.
Right.
So, well, you can see if they found something else interesting. For example, Vladislav is reading what he's reading. He's reading AC Rush 500. It's a kind of option because AC Rush has a lot of code, so AC Rush solution has quite a big probability of being wrong. But show what's exactly wrong in it is really hard. So I think that's at least that's the one which would a lot of people work on after they check everything else. So there can be a race for challenging that, but starting with it can be helpful too.
AC Rush tried to challenge Scott Woos 500, but it's an unsuccessful challenge.
Okay, so and that's probably one more reason to think that AC Rush have some problem in his solution because he has some problems with this problem. He doesn't understand what's going on well.
At least nobody tries to
randomly
challenge. Nobody tries to challenge 3 people with very fast scores.
Well, because basically they have the same solution. Probably none of them missed some corner case. That's not the problem when you can just challenge with random tests, because mostly random tests are trivial. So probably we can check what our tops are doing. For example, if Andrew is trying, probably Andrew have no reason to challenge something because
it's fun. Why not?
It will then fail into one challenge within tourist score.
Not really.
Not really. It's hard to compute.
I mean, he only would get -25, and it would still be more than 50 points from tourist.
So what AC Rush is doing, he's trying to understand Anchor Wallace 500. And he seems to be happy with it. So they're reading 500. No one, we didn't see anyone who trying to find bugs in 250. Do you think it's impossible? Like, are they too easy?
Actually, Andrew, for example, looking into 250s. Kankura was looking into 250, so no, it's not true that no one tries to do it.
So actually, Scott has prepared some tricky tests. Maybe they would help him.
Piotr is looking into 1000s even.
That's interesting. I have no idea what to try to find in 1000 because.
Well, I guess with only 8 people, you have time to look into all of the solutions at least.
Yes, but basically, what Scott is doing now, I'm not sure what is it.
Is this 250?
It's someone's code.
Yeah, this is 250.
It's 250, but whose?
Sure. No, because I thought like he's going to take a look at all the 500 first because he has one great test case that kills Neil's solution, but seems like maybe he has done it. He has looked at all the 500 and now started looking on the 250.
We are
I know tried to challenge Kankura. Sorry. I know had tried to challenge Kankura 500 to no avail.
But this didn't work. So we have 5 minutes to go now. So I think mostly everyone has some wide look on most submissions and need to choose one to dive in. So for now, if all your solutions are correct and you are in top 4, you are mostly safe. So probably, and Scott, I think Scott have big problems now because he needs to fail a lot of solutions in the top.
Scott need either failure from Conquer on any of his problems or 2 failures from someone in top 3.
I think actually failing 250 doesn't help, and Scott. I'm not sure.
Oh, Tourist Challenge Ishiras 500. Oh.
Well.
No, Scott have more points than Conqueror's 500, thanks to the challenge.
Okay,
so
yes. After the challenge, yes. Okay, so that's can. So as I said, IC Rush has a lot of code, and it was looking like something is wrong here, and tourists find what exactly is wrong.
I think we can safely say at least that probably top 4 would be from the current top 5.
Oh, Scott unsuccessfully challenged Piotr's 1000. So now.
But why?
Yeah. So now Scott's score is lower than Conqueror's 500.
That's true.
That would be quite funny if it will fail.
Choice.
I have no idea what can be wrong in 1000. Okay, so tourist is looking someone 250. Not sure which one.
Someone who writes in C++. Guess it doesn't really helps with who did that.
Doesn't help at all. Even Piotr is writing in C++ now.
Yeah, in the chat it was mentioned like people from top 2/3 don't have reasons to risk challenges. Yeah, that actually kind of makes sense, and I'm actually surprised with that tourist challenge because I thought like Scott will take all of the challenges on 500 with his resubmission as well, but turns out I was wrong.
But the thing is now
but actually they don't have much reasons not to challenge because someone tried to challenge Andrew and it was not unsuccessul. It was not successful challenge.
I knew unsuccessfully challenged again.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I knew tried to challenge
tourist. And Piotr for the good
as well.
measure.
Yeah. So I knew tries to challenge all the 1000, but did not manage to get any of them.
Okay, so Aino just tried to challenge everything. It didn't work. Maybe just
he has 4
random
more.
big number challenge or time limit or something.
He has only 4 more attempts because you can challenge with negative score.
And 50 seconds for 4 attempts. A lot.
Tourist
tried he's actually trying to do something like that.
Oh, Tourist tried to challenge Scott's solution. Yeah.
So Tourist tried to challenge Scott's solution and it's worked. Why not?
Yes. Well, Tourist was within 1 challenge of taking the lead, so it's understandable that he wanted to give it a go.
And he does not risk much because difference with Piotr is big. And probably even if he fails the hard, I think he's more sure with hard than with other 2 problems, to be honest. Because that's kind of problem which either work or not work.
Okay, so challenge phase ends. Yeah, not sure what Ainu tries to
No,
do there.
I know did not succeed into getting into negative score actually.
But I guess it may be the smallest positive score of semifinal rounds ever.
Yeah.
So that's a record.
I have no idea how to check it.
So in the very unlikely case that Kankuro, Scott, Neil, and Ishira's solution all fails, Ainu qualifies with 0.82 score, right? But that is very unlikely.
No, Scott has 25 points.
Scott will qualify with 25.
Right.
So you say currently Scott and Tourist have at least 25 points, so they are like kinda in a good
so
spot.
we're asked in chat if there is difference between first and second place. There are not much difference between first four places. All of them are going to finals, but it depends on rating, or it's just a competition between people you know. Like it's always nice to, hey, I got placed in the top of Tourist. That's just kind of fun for them.
And rating. So we're now waiting for the results. What do you think? Will there be any additional failures?
So while we're having some intermission now, we can see Tourist. But also, what do you think? So we have 4 participants from yesterday, and we can assume which 4 will.
Wait, how is it possible that you can see Tourist's laptop? So the webcam that he's streaming on is not the laptop webcam. Yes, another webcam.
Yes, probably he just has a separate webcam.
Okay, so now we are just waiting for the system test results. So yeah, after the challenge phase, what's going to happen is that all the solutions that still there that is not challenged will be run with the set of test cases that the Topcoder team has prepared, and then the cases that have been used for successful challenge will be added to that as well. So yeah, it's now running all those solutions with all these hidden test cases, and if it fails even one of the test case, then the score will become 0.
Yes, and actually I think it's already ran, because when you have only 8 people, that's not takes too long. But admins need to check out everything.
Preparing the video might take longer than the actual system test itself. I don't know how long. What's the effort it takes to prepare the video? Yeah.
So maybe we can also see other participants, or only Nadi has his video. Okay, so we are now waiting, and we'll have a leaderboard with final results in a couple of minutes. So while we have some time, what are your bets for the finals?
What do you mean? Who will get to the finals, or who will win in the finals?
Who will win the final?
It would be a bloodbath.
Yeah, I guess it's worth to mention the finalists as well. The 4 finalists that we already know from the first semifinals. We have Benji, Stonefang, Maroon Curry, and Kotatsugame. Yeah, so it'll be quite an exciting match. We haven't known who will qualify from this semifinals yet, but probably the top three are good. Like they need both like 2 of their 3 solutions to fail in order for them not to qualify, right? So they're probably safe. And then one more, the fourth spot, you probably there's some questions there.
So, and
Neil actually said that he knew that.
Sorry.
Neil said that his 500. He knew his 500 would fail, but the thing is, it fails in the arena on this test, and not locally.
Oh, that's always hard to get. What is it?
Yes.
So, what will happen now? We will see the scoreboard soon, and just from going from top to down, we will see if the solutions is correct. So now we will see. So we are seeing that ANU solutions.
Yeah,
and this is correct.
It's positive score.
So ANU receiving its 0.82 points, and we are checking the next one. It's correct too. And new solution is correct too. So for now we all challenged. Only challenged solutions are failing, and Scott's solutions are correct. And Vladislav's solutions are correct too. So for now we have almost everything correct, which is good for top 4 participants, but not so good for others. And the tourist.
And Andrew.
And Andrew. So actually all wrong submissions were challenged, which means that
there's no
good work.
Bugs.
Yeah, there's no more drama here in the system test. Yeah,
but not this time. So,
congratulations to Andrew, Gennady. Go on.
Let's finish. So our congratulations to Andrew, Gennady, Piotr, and Vladislav, who are passing to the finals, and we will see them tomorrow or other finals tomorrow. Yes. I'm not sure. Yes.
The finals
so
are tomorrow.
We will see them tomorrow on finals with 4 people who passed from the first semi-final, and I hope that will be an interesting contest tomorrow. We'll see you then.
I'm pretty sure it will be a fantastic contest.
So thanks to everybody for looking at.
Listen, Jonathan.
Yep. I'm pretty sure it will be exciting as well. So, yeah, make sure to tune back in tomorrow to see the finals. Again, we will have Egor, Tourist, Peter, Kankuro, Benji, Stonefang, Maroon Curry, and Kotatsugame. So yeah, tune back in tomorrow, and goodbye, guys. See you.